Alright, give me just a second, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube's doing that thing again where it's just not gonna give me my stream for whatever reason. It's like, nah, I think not today. So apologies again for the late stream. I know I'm about like 1 to 2 hours late. Don't remind me. My sleeping is pretty bad anymore. Let me go ahead and take care of all of this, and we will begin, so give me just a second. Go ahead and do this. You know what, I want to check my Hash Manager. What does it look like without any games running? It's at between 60 to 70% CPU. Okay. So that's normal. This is when I'm streaming with OBS, Firefox, and VTuber Studio up. So really, the thing that takes up so much memory tends to be the games for some reason. In any case, welcome back, Voidelings. I am the expert of experts, the master of disaster, the one that only Voidex here, so I'm a Gostrola. And we're back with the Voidex. This time, Final Fantasy V. So let's dive on in. I don't have a thing up for the treasures. I will find that when I need it. So, Final Fantasy V is the second game in the series that allows you to change classes on the fly. It's very similar to Final Fantasy III in regards to that, except it's a lot better than Final Fantasy III. In that, once you learn, you can learn abilities on jobs by leveling the jobs up, and you can equip an ability with any job. Unless it's freelancer, then you can equip 2 abilities. If it's the mine job, you can equip 3 abilities. So, it's a very versatile combat system, where you can customize your characters with whatever loadout that you want. Makes it very, very, yes, FF3 but better. It has a lot of customization. It's also not an easy game. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I may have made the game seem easy when I streamed it. It's really not that easy for first-timers. It's really not. The first few playthroughs I give this game, I own this game for PlayStation, so I have the Anthologies collection. Which, by the way, the Anthologies collection is a little bit slow and buggy. Just gonna say that right now. This game was really hard. It honestly was really, really hard. Also, let me just say this right now. I played this game first before Final Fantasy VI, I believe. And this was after having played so many of the PlayStation 1 games. I got so used to the graphics that when I went to this game, I saw this graphics of this game, and I'm like, oh god, can I actually play this game? Yeah, I actually was one of those people where I was like, oh god, the graphics aren't as good as, like, the PlayStation. Can I play this game as it is? But I played through it because I'm like, I played the NES, I played the SNES. Why would I be bothered by graphics, you know? And it was a very good game. I really enjoyed the game. Liquid Flame was hard. Yeah, Liquid Flame was one of the harder ones early on. Archeo Avis gave me a lot of trouble too. I remember Archeo Avis being a really big pain. Archeo Avis, you grew up with a lot of I grew up with a lot of NES. Remember, I technically started with Atari. I only remember Punk for the Atari. Yes, I'm showing my age here. But yes, I technically started with the Atari. Although my memories first remember the NES. With Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. You know, the Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, combo. I remember I owned the NES Sapper at one point. Before, you know, my parents sold my NES and all the games for $50 at a garage sale when I got the SNES. Oh man, that really hurts thinking about that. I do miss pixel art too. It's kind of why I like the RPG Maker era of stuff. Like, say, you know, Ho-Ho Fantasy and Hololive Chronicles, you know, the 2 games I've done. I like the graphics of those. Not because, you know, I did the graphics, I didn't do any of the graphics, but because, well, I say that, right? I obviously did the maps and stuff, but, like, it just feels good, you know? Like, it feels more fun to me. I don't know, maybe I'll just put on rose-tinted glasses. Anyways, Final Fantasy V. Regular enemies generally aren't too difficult in this game. Actually, in a lot of Final Fantasies, random encounters are generally not too difficult. Now, there are some very, very jerkish enemies in this game that the game will throw at you. Case in point, the Kusa Beast, the Seal Dragon, Landcrawler, Dorm Chimera, the Hydra. Every now and then it will throw these random strong enemies at you in specific areas, and they're jerks. They are really, really big jerks, outright. And then there are some areas that are really big jerks, like say, oh, I don't know, the Gill Cave? That place is mean, dude. That place is just really, really mean. So, why don't we take a look at, I need to do this, at everything we have here. Let me go ahead and sort everything. We're going to start with the usual. So, these are all the same thing here. Save, load, quick save, config. So, this is the second game with the ATB system. It does it way better than Final Fantasy 4 did. Final Fantasy 4 was a buggy mess because it was the first game to use the ATB system. Actually, I think Final Fantasy 4 was the first game outright to create the ATB system. This improved it by a lot. There's hardly any bugs related to the ATB system at all, really. Mouse speed, you can change no whole bugs. I keep it on fast. Messages, I keep it on normal. I keep this on just so I don't have to, you know, go back to what I want to do every single time. I keep this on optimal. You can put it on remove all, but I like optimal just so I don't have to re-equip everything manually. For the most part, everything else is, you know, the same stuff, you know. Not a whole lot different. Formation. This just lets you change, rows. It doesn't really matter which, what you do with this. Because you're always going to have the same 4 characters for most of the game. So it doesn't really matter that you change their, spot at all. So honestly, I don't know why they allow you to change, like, the character slot. I guess because, in the older games, whoever was on the HUD was your field sprite. And you couldn't just change that with the LR button. Now, in this version, you can do that. I don't think you can until this version. I could be wrong. So, These are all basically just, you know, your normal stuff. Strafe your physical damage, hack, you know, your... You know, all this stuff, the same stuff as usual. I don't see magic evasion. I don't know if magic evasion is a thing. It might be a hidden stat. So in the bottom right, we have AVP, which I think is for your current job. Acquired jobs, which is all the jobs in the game, so there's 22 jobs. And abilities learned, so there are 74 abilities you can learn in the game. Now, in the Game Boy Advance version of the game, there are 4 additional classes, which is Necromancer, which I think is the final class that you get after being the super boss of the game. There's Cannoneer, there's Oracle, and there's Gladiator. Are any of them good? I mean, you get them at the end of the game, pretty much. You have to beat the game to access the special dungeon and get them, which, I mean, at that point, you don't really need them. You already beat the game. What's the point of the special classes if you already beat the game? Cannoneer, Gladiator? Yeah. Also, fun fact, if I recall, Lena naturally has the highest magic, and Bartz has the highest, strength. Krill has the highest agility. Varus is kinda all around. It looks like Bartz has the highest stamina, too. We'll talk about the abilities after we go through jobs, so, yeah, Oracle is pretty bad. So we'll take a look at the jobs here in a second. Let's take a look at, equip. So, you get right hand, left hand, accessory, body, and helmet. So, it doesn't really matter which hand you put, weapons or shields in. It doesn't really matter, unlike Final Fantasy IV, where it determines damage and stuff based on a dominant hand. The rest can be gotten as soon as you hit World 3. So, this is your standard equip menu. Magic! There are quite a few magic abilities. I don't know why Song is considered magic, but it is. There are some missable spells in the game, if I recall. I could be wrong. Someone's gonna have to correct me on that. I could be wrong. If I recall, Esna is missable permanently. Can you confirm that? Actually, I could probably confirm it myself. Let me find out. Final Fantasy V White Magic. But I feel like Esna is missable. I clicked it. Let me go. Let's see, Esna. Oh no, you can buy it later. Okay, so there's no mystical white magic. There's no mystical black magic. High magic, I am unsure of. So, high magic, we'll take a look at that. So, level 1, you can get this, like, at the start of the game in, I can't remember the name of the hounds. What the hell was the name of that hound? Some of the hound names are a little bit, they're different from what I remember, so, it isn't home. You can get this as soon as you go to the first hound of the game. Which, by the way, you can't skip it, because you have to go there in order to progress the game. So, Cure restores HP. Libra, or Scan, as you may call it in earlier games, this spell is still pretty useless. I mean, okay, I say it's useless, but it's useful for a specific type of setup, if you don't remember everything off the top of your head. In particular, levels. Levels are gonna matter, and you'll see what I mean by that later. So Libra is kind of not really that great. It's never really that great. It's only if you don't know the game, like the back of your hand. But even then, you generally don't really need Libra. Poisoner cures poison. I mean, you know, it never hurts a half. It never hurts a half this spell. And it's only 2 MP, so it's not even that expensive. So, I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to the spells, you might as well buy every spell in the game. There's no reason not to buy every spell. Now, some spells you can just say, I don't need it right now, I'll get it later, like Libra. But you might as well just buy every spell when you come across them. There's no reason not to. So yeah, Poisoner. You're gonna run into Poison quite a bit in this game, by the by. So Poisoner is gonna be pretty useful overall. Silence. I have not really found any good use for Silence. Silence, just, you don't really need it in this game. Like, at all. Silence kinda does absolutely nothing. Protect, however, this is the first game where Protect is really, really good. If I recall, it reduces physical damage by 33%? Is it 33 or is it 50 in this game? Let me find out. It reduces, it halves physical damage. So it's a very, very good spell to get. It's a spell I would highly recommend to get immediately. Because why wouldn't you want to have all physical damage, you know? Mini, honestly, Mini's only use is to use it on yourself and cure Mini. That's really it. Like, I don't think I've ever used Mini in this game. Like, there's no reason to. Cura, why wouldn't you get this? Raise is very good. Happen to Revive is very, very good. It's just, it's very expensive. 29 MP. That is a very expensive spell compared to everything else. Still, if you don't have Phoenix Gowns for whatever reason, I don't know why you don't have any Phoenix Gowns, then Raise is very good. Confuse, again, like, Confuse isn't really that good. Like in any game, Confuse is hardly any good. Silence, you might get some nice use out of. Confuse, why? You're better off just hacking than using Confuse. Blink. It gives you a status that allows you to avoid 2 physical attacks and then it wears off. So Blink has some use, depending on who you're fighting. I believe you can use Blink from a weapon. I could be wrong, but that could be useful in the 4th hour, if you can use it from a weapon. Otherwise, it really depends on the enemy you're fighting. I'm just gonna say that. Cell is the same as Protect. Halves magic damage. Very useful. Because let me tell you something. Cell hurts. Cell is extreme, or magic is extremely dangerous in this game. It hurts a lot. And at the end of the game, you're gonna run into a lot of magic users. So keep Cell around. Also, you can AoE cast Protected Cell, I believe. I could be wrong, but maybe you can. Maybe it's single target. Esna cures everything but KO zombie. Very useful to have. You can get this early on, otherwise you gotta wait a while before you can buy it. So make sure you get this before you leave Karnak Castle. Otherwise, you're gonna be waiting for quite a while. Kiraga. Wow, Kiraga's very expensive. I mean, Kiraga is very good, so, I mean, why wouldn't it be expensive? Reflect. So Reflect is one of those spells that is a lot better in this game than in previous games because of how many spells there are. Like, in a couple fights, Reflect is how you're gonna outright seize some bosses. However, you may also put yourself in a situation where you need a heal, but you can't because Reflect is up. Or you put Reflect up and now the boss is throwing stuff at you that's gonna heal them. Or, you know, they're gonna just smack you with something that can't be reflected. So it's still niche, but it's a lot better in this game than in Final Fantasy IV. Plus, you know, you get Reflect Ring, which makes Reflect very valuable. But honestly, I only use Reflect in a couple of situations. Against Omniscient, and against Hanya. Actually, do I use it against Hanya? I think I do use it against Hanya, yeah. Berserk. I never use Berserk. Because there's like hardly any instance where I'm gonna be having my character just use regular attacks. I'm just gonna be honest because you kinda want to keep control of all of your characters in this game. Because fights could go south really, really fast. And I mean really, really fast. You know how fast it could go down, right, Hate? You're very well aware of how south a fight can go in a blink of an eye. You can be like perfectly fine, and then the next instant, you're about to lose. It gets very dangerous in some of these fights. Arise! Your most expensive white magic spell is a full revive, so of course it's going to be very expensive. Arise is very, very good. You can only get Arise like a spell in the hidden town, I believe. I would highly suggest getting Arise. Holy is the reward for completing 4 Tower. You need to defeat Minute Horde to get this. Honestly, I don't really use Holy very much. Like, Holy's not a bad spell. It's really not. But in all honesty, there's better damage capabilities than Holy. I mean, it's not very expensive, but, you know, there's better things you can use than, Holy. Who's messaging me? Give me just a second. 1 second. Anyways, Dispel. It removes, buffs. Again, the problem with Dispel is enemies and bosses don't really buff themselves very much when you really think about it. Like, yeah, it'd be very good if a boss or something used, like, say, Mighty Guard. But, like, nothing really ever uses Mighty Guard that you really need to worry about. And if there is something that has a buff, you can just work around it. It's not like it's impossible to work around. So, like, Dispel is kind of not that good. Why it's a level 6 spell is beyond me, but, like, overall, you're not really gonna ever use Dispel. Like, ever. So, like, the overall consensus on white magic is a good portion of the spells are good. Like, Protect and Sell are amazing in this game. Raise and Arise, obviously, very vital. Cure, Kiraga, very, very good. They're very vital. Poison is very useful because of how often poison happens. Mini is only fair to cure Mini for yourself. F's not always great. Blank is very nice. Reflect is very nice. Holy is good damage. So overall, most of the spells are very good this time around. They're more useful than Final Fantasy 4's. And a lot more useful than Final Fantasy 3's White Magic, I feel. Just a couple duds. Silence is almost always a dud. I cannot think of a single instance in this game where you're gonna really need silence. Same with Confuse. Confuse is more of a dud. This is like the biggest dud spell outside of Dispel and Libra. Now, Black Magic. You cannot miss any of the Black Magic spells, as far as I'm aware. So, Black Magic is very Stagger, Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, which are all 4. Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, Baraka, Blizzard, Thunder. So, half of the Black Magic is just Fire, Blizzard, Thunder. Simple enough, it's damage. Every other level is basically status, for the most part. So, already, half of the Black Magic is pretty good. So let's take a look at the ones that are not Fire, Blizzard, Thunder. So we got Poison, which inflicts Poison. Useless. I cannot think of a single time that you're going to be using Poison in this game. Poison does pretty much nothing. Yeah, it does get sillier when you add elemental rocks. You are correct. And we will talk about that when we get the equipment. So Poison overall, completely useless. You're never going to use Poison. Sleep? There is one boss in the game where Sleep is viable. And that, believe it or not, is Atmos. Atmos is not immune to Sleep. You can use Sleep on it to take out the fight for a good chunk. That's like the only instance of Sleep. Hogue? You're never gonna use this on enemies. It's hardly useful at all. Who is messaging me? So yeah, these are all basically duds. Hogue is only good to cure Hogue on yourself. Drain. Drain is pretty useless, if I recall. I don't know if they made Drain better in this version of the game, but overall, Drain is, not useful at all. Break has uses. Very niche uses, but you can use Break. However, you're not going to use Break the spell. You're going to use Break elsewhere. And we'll get that when we get that. Bio's not bad. Yeah, Drain is one of the forgotten spells because it's you're never really gonna use it. Because you're probably gonna have a white mage that's gonna be healing you, and you want your black mage to be doing, elemental damage anyway, so Drain is kind of a good spell. Bio's not bad. Sap is in a terrible status. It's kind of slow on enemies and bosses, but it's not bad. You're not gonna get, extra damage on anything unless you're gonna wait for Poison. Poison, I think, is an element. Yeah, I did put Drain in here twice. Flare is a very, very good spell. This is an amazing spell. It's better than Holy. You're not going to hit elemental weakness with this spell, but it is an exceptionally good spell. If you're using Black Magic, you're using Flare. You're going to be using Flare. Death is very niche. And the problem with Death is you get at the end of the game. You get Death and Osmos in the Hidden Village, so Death isn't going to get any use, and most things are going to be immune to death. Go figure. Flare is the reward for finishing 4 power. This is what you get for being omniscient. Home you can find in the village of Kel, or Quell, something like that. It's the, holy? When is it ever holy? I know sometimes it's fire, but like, I don't remember it ever being holy. Osmos is an amazing ability, if I recall correctly. I don't know if it's this game or the next game where Osmos is... I know the next game, Osmos is broken. Final Fantasy VI, this spell is absolutely broken. I don't remember if it's super broken in this game, but it's still a very, very good spell, if I recall. It lets you drain MP from enemies. It's better to drain. Like, you don't really need to drain HP. You got white mages and stuff. MP's more valuable. And it only costs 1 MP. I do think that some enemies are resistant to Osmos, so it probably won't be as good. But, you know, it's still a very strong spell. This game, or this, High Magic. The first time High Magic shows up. I want to say there's a High Magic spell you cannot get if you miss it. I'm gonna check that. High Magic. I swear there's a High Magic spell you can miss. It's not that. Apparently not. You can get them all in another thing. You can just buy them all or find them. So you can never miss any black, white, or high magic ability. Which is honestly good. So speed, what this does is it sets that speed, the 8 HP speed, regardless of what 8 HP speed you have. It will always set it to, I think, slow. I think it sets it either slow or... Yeah, I think it sets it as slow. It reduces the 8 HP, the battle speed. Why would you need a spell for that? I don't know. You will never... Yeah. High Mage is pretty bad, honestly. It has some very, very powerful stuff, but it's generally not a very good class. Speed is useless. Slow isn't a terrible status effect. The problem is, so many things that you want to use slow on are going to be immune to slow. So slow is generally not that great, which ultimately makes slow gun not as good. Regen, you're not really going to use regen. Regen is too slow to recover in this game. Regen is very, very poop in this game. It's not like the other FFs. Mute prevents all enemies and allies from using magic. Which is not true, by the way. Some enemies will still use magic even with mute, if I recall. Magic abilities. So mute is not something you want to ever use. It's kind of useless. I don't know when you would ever use this. Haste and Haste-Ga are very, very powerful. This is what you use High Mage for. Haste makes it so that your 8 HP fills up at double speed. This is very good. Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem. It doubles your 8 HP speed. But I don't know if it gives you enough speed to give you 2 actions to every one action that your enemy gets. I don't know. I feel like it's not enough of a buff. It is good as an accessory. I just don't... Maybe it's because I play on active all the time. But on weight, it might give you more actions. Float is nice, but it lets you avoid damage tiles on the map. Like, say, lava and stuff like that. And it allows you to avoid earth elemental attacks like Earthshaker. So this is very good in a couple fights. Ultimately, though, you're probably going to be using, I don't know if there's an auto float accessory in this game. If there is, you're going to be using auto reflect with float. Gravity, and ultimately gravity. Gravity halves HP. It reduces HP by 1/8, which that's a weird number. I don't really... The problem with gravity is so many enemies that you want to use gravity on. There's never really a reason to use them on. And you can't use it on bosses, so like gravity's a good spell in boss fights. Gravity has better uses in other Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy 7 gravity's actually pretty damn good if you know where to use it. Final Fantasy 10 9 gravity can be useful, but like ultimately gravity as a spell is pretty bad. Stop is a spell that I never use. Stop just... It relies on you knowing what's not immune to stop, and hardly anything's, you know, useful to use the spell on. There's hardly any use of stop. This spell, you want this spell, get teleport. Teleport is good. If you want a good high max spell, get teleport. I believe this is in Castle Surgate. I want to say, make sure you get this spell. It is godlike. It also lets you escape fights if you don't want to do a fight, assuming, you know, you can run from a fight. Comet. Comet is what you're going to be doing for your main damage for high mags. The problem with Comet is the damage is randomized. You might get like 10 damage, or you might get like 1500 damage. The damage is very, very varied with this spell. You're basically playing a gambler class using a Comet spell. It's the same deal with Meteor. Meteor is just Comet, but it's 4 hits. And it hits random enemies, so it might hit like enemy 1 4 times, so it might hit enemy 1 once, then enemy 2 twice, then enemy 3 once. So Meteor is better against single targets than it is in a group. Don't let the fact that it says all enemies fool you. It's random. Return. Return is a very useful spell. Now you make me wondering, why would you want to reset a fight? Well, maybe a fight went really, really badly. Use a return will save you from having to, you know, walk all the way back to the boss, you know, or, you know, go through a big cutscene, or maybe you know you can win the fight, but something just went south. Use return. Or, in the case of you thieves out there that want to get rare steals, return is very good for stealing. Old is an interesting spell. So what Old does, it reduces the target's level. So it reduces level ultimately down to 1, which for enemies, it makes their stats drop dramatically. For Old affects the player differently from bosses or enemies. For the player, it reduces their stats, all of their stats, to 1 ultimately. Even if you cure Old, your stats are going to be whatever they were when you cured Old. So, Old is very dangerous on the player compared to the enemy. Quick is the most broken spell in the game. It gives you 2 turns in the same turn. So you can cast Quick, and then you can do like double Meteor, or double Rapid Fire, or anything that you need to do. Now, if you use Quick, and then use an ability and try to use Quick as your second action, it will not work. It does not work that way. So make sure that you don't waste MP trying to use Quick again. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit, Hate. I am going to be doing a sort on that thing, because that spell is broken. And then Banis, Banis is basically just death. It's death, but for a different type of enemy type. Where death doesn't work on heavy, Banis can, but Banis doesn't work on what death can work on. It's weird. It's very weird. You're not going to be using Banis, like, at all, really. You need to buy quick Banis in the Hidden Town. Summons! These are the only summons you can buy in the game. Make sure you buy them. Make sure you buy them. So, Chocobo is ultimately useless. You're never going to use Chocobo. So you can see that there's 2 abilities. You're mostly going to see Choco Kick. But in a very, very rare chance, I think it's 1 in 8 chance, you're going to see Fat Chocobo. Let me tell you something. Trying to get this for the video was a pain in the butt, because it takes forever for this thing to trigger. But ultimately, it's not very strong. Sylph is a drain that splits the HP damage dealt to enemy across the entire party. It's the same as in Final Fantasy IV. Yeah, Summoner is kinda not super great, really. This just inflicts paralysis, which, why? Why is this even a summon? And then all the other summons in the game, you have a fight in order to get. Except for Phoenix. Phoenix is the only one. Well, Phoenix and Sildra are the only ones you don't have to fight to get. Everyone else you have to fight to get. So Shiva. By the way, you can miss summons, so don't miss the summons. Shiva is a summon you can miss. If you do not get Shiva before you go to World 2, you will miss Shiva. So, Shiva does ice elemental damage to all enemies, as you can imagine. Ramuh does lightning to all, Ether does fire. So, and this does earth to all. So there's your 4 elements right there. So Shiva you fight in castle walls. There's a hidden area you need to go to get to her. You will fight her with 2 ice commanders. She's not super difficult, but she can be tough, depending on when you try to fight her. Ramuh, you fight in the forest around Iskari. Ramuh you can actually beat in 1 hit, if I recall. I think you can do you can do Deathclaw to Ramuh. Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to. I think I don't know how you're supposed to find Shiva. I think there are hints, like someone talks about an eye in the forest in the north for Caloglepis, and Ramuh. There's someone in Icery, I think that talks about an old man walking around in the forest near the town. But some of these you're not really gonna know about, like Golem. You're not gonna know how to get Golem, really. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but, you know. So Ramu, I don't know if you can miss Ramu. I don't know if the forest around Ice Tree is gonna let you fight Ramu in World 3. But you should fight Ramu in World 1. If you have Deathclaw, I think you can use Deathclaw and just instant kill him. Ifrit, you get through the story. You fight him in Library of the Ancient. He's not really that hard, especially if you have Sippa. Or if you have the Ice Rock and Blissara. Have I mentioned that the rod's broken? We'll get the rod's later. Titan, you get as per the story, you fight him in one of the meteorites. He's not a very hard fight. Just have, you know, float to avoid his earthquake when he dies. Not that hard. Golem! You have to save Golem from a dragon zombie and a, 2 different zombie dragons. When you beat them without Golem dying, you will get Golem. Golem is an amazing summon. What he does is, when you summon him, he will block physical damage up to the caster's HP when summoned, if I recall. Let me check. So in some fights, Golem is exceptionally strong. Like against the Guild Hurl, Golem is amazing. Let me see if I can find Golem. So, the formula is 20 plus the caster's level. So, for example, let's say I use them right now. It'd be 63 plus 20, so 83 times 50 HP of incoming physical damage. So 83 times 50. What is 83 times 50? Let me think. 83 times 50. $41.50 worth of damage, if I'm doing it right. Let me see if I get that right. 41. I want to see if I get that right. Yep, 41.50. Wow, I can math in my head. How about that? So yeah, Golem will protect you from physical damage. It's very, very good. It's very good. And you can manipulate your level in battle. So keep that in mind. You can make Golem super busted with the right setup. Count Blepish, you can only get in World 2. You have to take a submarine to a cave underwater to the north. And then you find Count Blepish in the forest. All Count Blepish does is simply petrify to a single party member every round. So make sure you cure Petrify, or have a way to deal with Petrify. And then he inflicts Petrify. I don't think I've ever used Count Blepish once. I've used Sippa, Ramu, and Ifrit more out of all of the summons, and Golem. Carbuncle. You can only get Carbuncle while in Castle X-Step for the final time. Once you defeat X-Step, you cannot get Carbuncle anymore. And you have to fight Carbuncle in order to get this. He's a little bit dangerous, but you can, seize him in phase 2 when he removes Reflect with instant death, like a break, if I recall. So it's not super impossible. So, Carbuncle puts Reflect on the entire party. This is the first time you can do AoE Reflect in the series. I don't think I've ever used Carbuncle in this game. There's not really any instance where you really need Carbuncle, I feel. Now, if you don't have Reflect Ring, Carbuncle is pretty nice. But, ultimately, you're not gonna need Carbuncle. Shieldra. you get this in World 3 by going back to Pirate's Hideout. It says wind damage. If I recall, it's supposed to be wind and lightning. Let me double check. Is it just wind damage? It's just wind damage. So, Sildra is a very good summon to get early on. The moment you come back, the moment you get the airship, get Sildra. Sildra does a lot of damage. Sildra is actually probably one of the stronger summons. The problem with Sildra, as you can imagine, is there's no good way of boosting wind damage. Except for the air knife. The air knife, I believe, is the only way to boost wind elemental damage. So you have to forego using a rod to boost magic damage if you want to boost Sildra's damage. Odin! You have to find the, you gotta go through the Cave of Jackal to the basement of Castle of Bow in order to fight Odin, and you need to beat Odin in under a minute. So, he will hit you with Sun Hexagon. It will not instantly kill you, it will hurt. If you let the timer run out, you lose. So, Odin is very situational. If there is a target that he cannot kill, he will use Gungnir. If he can kill all the enemies, he will use Sun Hexagon. Now, Odin can be useful in the final dungeon, because he can Sun Hexagon some of the enemies in there. Still very dangerous to do. There's a better method of dealing with enemies, but Odin, ultimately, not really that great. He might be useful against bosses if he uses Gungnir, but like, ultimately, you're not going to use Odin. And if you want to beat Odin, use Break. Yes, you heard me. You can beat Odin in one move by using Break. Phoenix! You have to go to the Phoenix Tower in World 3, meaning you gotta go through a very dangerous desert and then climb the Phoenix Tower. Do the event of it, but do not cut the dragon's tongue. If you cut the dragon's tongue, you will permanently miss Phoenix. So don't do that, okay? Phoenix is very nice because it's AoE, Arise, so everyone that's dead gets fully revived, and it does fire elemental damage. It's the most expensive ability in the game. For good reasons. AoE revive like that is very, very good. I just realized I don't have my watch. Leviathan. You don't have to fight Leviathan, he's optional, or C. I believe Leviathan's almost always female. You will fight Leviathan in the waterfall. Leviathan's kind of rough. If you don't have a way to absorb water, the constant tidal wave is gonna hurt. Or tsunami. I don't remember which one. I think it's tidal wave. But when you do get Leviathan, Leviathan does a lot of damage. And I mean a lot of damage. Now, are there any good ways of boosting water damage, is the question. I think the Magus Rod is the only good way of boosting water damage. So, unless you've got the Magus Rod, you're not going to be getting the 50% damage boost. I don't remember if there's anything else. Yeah, there's coral rings. You need the coral rings. And then Bahamut. Bahamut does non-elemental damage to all enemies. Bahamut's your go-to at the end of the game for AoE damage. You're gonna be doing like Quick plus Bahamut for your big damage. If you're gonna be using AoE damage. You fight Bahamut at the North Mountain in World 3. Again, you gotta go through the big old desert. Same desert that you go to the Phoenix Tower through. Bahamut's a pretty tough fight. I'm gonna be honest, Bahamut is super, super dangerous. Yeah, Bahamut does cost too much MP. You can, deal with the MP cost if you get the gold hairpin. We'll go over that. But, Bahamut is very, very powerful. And at the end of the game, you're probably going to have a bunch of elixirs and, you know, other ways of recovering MP. There are methods of recovering MP. Now, I'm not going to show the mix because I got a video on mix already. That was one of the Let's Learns I did, one of the early Let's Learns. Actually, when did I do that? Let me see. I'm gonna find it real quick so I can link it in the chat and link it later. Give me just a second. I am gonna check the let's see. FF5 mix. Hold on. Final Fantasy V mix. Let's learn Final Fantasy. There it is. It was back in August of last year. Wow. August of last year it was when I did this. I cannot believe it was August of last year. What the heck? So, that's for those of you who want to see the mix video. It was an hour and a half I spent going over all the mixed abilities. I'm not going to be going over that in this stream because I have that already done. But I will touch up on it when we get to it. And I'll link that in the video description when I'm done. Spellblade. So Spellblade is interesting because it depends on what black magic you got. Outside of this, you need to get holy in order to get this. So it makes it so that your physical attacks will do elemental damage or status effects. Or, you know, drain HP or drain MP. These are actually very, very powerful abilities. Very powerful, because, let me look it up here for a second. Spellblade. Some of these actually are a lot more powerful than you think they are. So, here's the thing. They give you the elements, right? Now, say you strike an enemy with a weakness, that element. For Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, it does double damage, and it ignores defense. For Poison, it does the same thing. Silence and Sleep, just Silence and Sleep. Fire, Blizzard, and Thundera. So, these do double damage. These do triple damage. And ignore defense. Drain just drains HP. Break Blade, this is gonna be your who's gonna send a lot of fights. Because it will always inflict Petrify if it can. So at the end of the game, there's a lot of enemies weak of Petrify. So you're gonna be using this for instantly defeating enemies at the end of the game. I almost dropped my controller. Bio. Here's a fun thing about Bio. It does poison elemental damage. If it's used against heavy type enemies, it does times 4 damage and ignores defense. If it's used on an enemy weak to poison, it instantly kills them. Likewise, these do times 4 damage and ignores defense to heavy enemies, and it instantly kills any non-heavy enemy weak to those elements. Same with Holy. Flare just increases your attack by 100 and ignores 75% of the target's defense. So Flare Blade is very strong. These are very strong if you hit elements. This is just strong against specific enemies. And Osmos is interesting. If it does more than 0 damage, 25% of the target's current MP is absorbed. So these are honestly very, very strong. It does have, yeah, not everything Spellblade friendly. You really need good swords for these. But when you get the right weapon for these do really good damage. Being able to do ×3 damage to enemies weak to these elements is huge. And being able to do ×4 damage later on is even more huge. Yeah, Drain Blade is honestly kind of ridiculous. I never used it, but like, it can be pretty ridiculous. Give me just a second, if you will. Give me just a second. Where is it? There it is. Alright, but yeah, all of these, aside from Sleep and Silence, these who are kind of duds, and Poison, all of these are all very, very good. The problem is Mystic Knight, as Hate mentioned, not very many weapons are Spellblade friendly. You need a sword, usually. And you need a sword that's not going to be elemental, I think. So Defender is probably going to be your best non-elemental sword. Also, Sleep Blade is very useful against Atmos. It lets you attack and put Atmos asleep, so it's still very good there. Silence Blade is useless. I don't think there's any use for Silence, like, ever. Yeah, it does tell you. Welcome to my favorite class of the game. The Blue Mage. We'll get to Blue Mage in a second. Psalms. So, you can permanently miss Psalms. And if you miss Psalms, you cannot get... I mean, I already said you're permanently missable. If you miss any pianos at all, you cannot get a couple songs. So the songs ultimately, a lot of the songs aren't really that great, I feel. I never really found a use for any of these, outside of a couple. So this increases the party's strength while the person is singing. And it is permanent for that fight. So once they're done singing, that's whatever strength you have. Ultimately, I don't know how useful that is. I never used Bard. This increases speed. This casts Regen, which is not that great. This boosts magic. So it's like this. Increases all stats. This is the final one. Requiem does damage to undead. This is the most useful one, because it does an insane amount of damage to undead enemies. Like, an insane amount. This is very good for Drake and Vale. And for the Great Sea Trench. This inflicts stop to all enemies. Stop doesn't last very long. However, what if I were to tell you this is a cheese method for Omega? You can actually cheese Omega with this if you time it correctly. I'm gonna confuse all enemies, which, why? Why would you do that? Alright, so let me see where you get each of these. Not Final Fantasy V Sync. We don't want Sync for Final Fantasy V. So, this one you will find at Crescent from the minstrel's house after playing 7 pianos. Swift Song you'll find at Circuit Castle. You cannot miss this one. So this one's not missable. This one I think can be missed. No, I think you can still no, you can miss this because I think a couple of the hounds with pianos go away. Mighty Mart, you find at Crescent at the minstrel's house. Monospain, you'll find in the Library of the Ancients on the top floor in the final world. So you can miss this one permanently, I think. Can you? Yes, you can permanently miss it. I had to stop to think. I was like, can you miss this permanently? Yes, you can. There are not 9 songs. Hero's Rhyme. This is after you find every piano in the game. So, fun fact about this. This raises the party's level to 99 in most versions. But in this version specifically, you can raise your level at 255. In this version specifically, you can get your level at 255 with this. Kinda insane, in all honesty. Requiem, you'll find in Kelm. You cannot miss this one. And you do want to get this because this is a very good, ability. The only time you're really going to use Bard is in, 2 dungeons. Romeo's Ballad, you'll find an Icery. You can miss this, I believe. Do not miss this if you want to seize Omega. And this you will find in Licks in Bart's house. You can miss this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of these songs you can miss, which is kinda terrible. So, yeah, the Bard songs are not very good. I'm just gonna be honest. So, Final Fantasy V is the big game where there's a lot of missables, as opposed to the previous games. There's a lot of missable stuff. So you can miss like half of these if you don't pick them up immediately, or at least before specific points. The best one is Requiem. Romeo's Ballad is only good for Omega. Everything else is kind of just whatever. Blue Magic. Blue Magic. If I recall, none of these are missable. But some of these become very difficult to get if you wait too long. Primarily the level spells. So, Blue Magic. Let's look at Blue Magic. I am going to, I'm gonna pull up the thing over here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. It's gonna make this a lot easier for me. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. You go up here. I don't think there's any missable Blue Magic spells, actually. I do not think there's any Blue Magic spell. Give me just a second. Alright, so. There's actually a decent amount worth grabbing Well, okay, because some aren't really that great. But, Doom! 30 seconds until the enemy dies. You're never really going to use this. Doom is useless. Don't bother with Doom. Actually, I think Doom can't be used on a part of, X-Dev. I'm gonna put this over here real quick. You can get this from, oh, it starts at 15 if the target's hasted, and 60 if they're under slow. You can learn this from X-Dev, who is the first one you can learn it from. You can learn it from also Magia, Hades, which is, GPA only. Unknown, one of the unknowns in the Great Sea Trench, and the game. But for you to learn it from the game, you have to give them MP. Some enemies have blue magic, but cannot use it because they have no MP. So, Roulette. KO's a random target. You're never going to use this. You will only get this at the end of the game. So I'm not going to talk about the GPA enemies because they're not in this version of the game. They're not in most versions of the game, obviously. You can learn this from Partheno, which is in the Phoenix Tower. That's where you're normally going to learn it. Also Magia, and Shinryu. Obviously, you don't want to learn it from Shinryu. So you're going to be learning this from Partheno, which, I mean, is not really that great. By the way, the target's already determined before the roulette chooses the target. Aqua Breath. It deals non-elemental damage. It says it's, you would think it would be water, but it does non-elemental damage. Now, when it's used against, desert-type enemies, say like a sandworm, I believe it does times 8 damage. I believe it's times 8. Let me see. It is times 8 damage, so it does times 8 damage against, desert enemies, which isn't very many enemies. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Not many enemies are desert type, but it is a pretty strong ability again. Now, the problem with Aqua Breath, as you can see, it costs a lot of MP. And that early in the game, you can get this very early in the game. It's very hard to get that early in the game, and you don't have that much MP. So it's a very hard spell to use early on. So you can learn this from the Dorm Chimera, which is in the desert outside of, Library of the Ancients. It's very hard to get Ben, because it's probably going to one-shot your party. Yeah, you can get from Magia. However, here's the thing with Magia, and I'm going to tell you this right now. He doesn't start with all the blue magic. What I mean by that is, he has specific blue magic spells that he starts with. If you use blue magic on him, he will learn those blue magic spells and use them against you. So one of the cheese methods for Magia is use self-destruct, so he learns it, and then he'll use self-destruct at some point in the fight. That is the cheese method for Magia. Not that he's a very hard boss, but you know. But, yeah, you can learn, Aqua Breath from Dorm Chimera. You can learn it from Leviathan, Bahamut, one of the crystals, and, Go-Go. You can also learn it from Aqua Gel, but you gotta give it, MP to learn it. So yeah, it's still a very good spell, but it's very, hefty in MP cost. You will be seeing me do a sort on this, because level 5 death is the most broken spell in the game if you know how to use it. Did you know? Did you know that one of the parts of Neo X Death, you can one-shot with this if you do it right? Did you know that X Death is the final fight? You can one-shot with this spell if you do it right. It ignores immunity to instant death. It outright ignores immunity. It will still fully revive or restore undeads, so don't use it on undead enemies, but this will instantly defeat anything in the game if you get their level of 5. This requires a lot of manipulation on your part with the mix command and another blue magic spell. But yes, you can just outright kill every boss in the game with this ability. It's insanely powerful. Also, it's bullshit. This spell cost me a lot of ire in my playthrough. Because there is a specific enemy in the Library of Ancients called Page 64 that you can learn this from. It is the first enemy in the game you can learn this from. It will attack with a spell every turn. Odds are, your party is going to be a multiple of 5, probably around level 15. You can imagine how bad that is. You can imagine how terrible this spell is. You can imagine how annoyed I got dealing with this spell. This spell sucks to deal with. And you only see it a couple times in the game, but that early in the game, it's very frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. So, you can learn it from page 64, which I would recommend to get early on. You can also learn it from Level Checker, Execute Her, and Level Tricker. I think Level Tricker, one of those level guys is GBA only, I think. And of course, Asumagia, you know, Asumagia learns everything. Level 4 Graviga works on enemies on targets with multiples of 4 of their level. This is ultimately useless. It casts Graviga on non-heavy enemies, so most bosses, you're not going to be able to get any use out of this. It's ultimately not super good. Yeah, there's some things that Asumagia can't or won't learn, yeah. I would still recommend learning this, just to, you know, get out of the way. But you're never really going to be, using this ability, like, ever. Level 2 Old! So, fun fact. If Blitz Old on targets with a level multiple of 2. In the Pixel Remaster version, they changed this. In all previous versions, it ignores immunity at Old. It does not do that anymore in the Pixel Remaster. And make it so that it does not ignore Old immunity. So it's worse in this version of the game. I don't know why they did that. Like, some of the changes they did is like, but why? So yeah, I don't know if this is even viable. Like, if clicking Old is really good, in previous versions, it's probably super good. Because you could just make enemies ultimately weak. And you don't have to worry about immunity to Old. In this version of the game, it's useless, pretty much. You can learn this from, oh wait. Level 4 Graviga, you learn from Gidra. in the Ronka Ruins. Make sure to get there. You can also learn it from Level Tricker, Level Checker, and Executor. Level 2 Old, you can learn from the Magic Dragon. Make sure to get that. I get Magic Dragons in Castle Exdeath. You can also learn it from Level Checker, Executor, Level Tricker, and Shinryu. Which, why would you learn it from Shinryu? Level 3 Flare. It's very niche, but it's a very, very powerful spell. It casts Flare on all targets, on all enemies with a level multiple of 3. So it outright casts Flare before you get to use Flare. Now, you get this relatively late. You can learn it from a Red Dragon if you get in a chest. The problem is you need control to manipulate it. And then you need to have someone who is a level multiple of 3. And you need Reflect on the Red Dragon to reflect it off of it. So that it will hopefully hit the person that is, you know, gonna be learning it. You also fight Red Dragons in Castle Exdeath. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Red Dragon and Blue Dragon suck a fight. They are very, very annoying a fight. But yeah, you can also learn it from, apparently Exdeath has it. Level Checker, Executor, Hunter, when summoned by the Sephiroth. Shinryu, Arceosaur, which I think is GBA, and Red Dragon. You have to use an Ether on the Red Dragon to get to use it. So keep that in mind. This is very powerful in specific situations. When you fight the gargoyles, this will work. When you fight Exdeath the first time as Castle, this will work. In fact, I would highly recommend fighting Exdeath with a party of blue mages. Because, blue mages with level 3 Flare will, outright destroy Exdeath. And put on Reflect Rings. And you basically just outright bully Exdeath. So there's that. Pond's Chorus. If Glitch Hogue. Ultimately useless. You are never gonna use the spell, like ever. You can learn this from Elf Hogue, which is, it will use this only when it's alone, and you fight this in Castle Waltz when you're trying to go to Shiva. You can also learn it from the Metamorph when it turns into the Elf Hogue. You can learn it from Arceo Hogue, Cornago, Farfarello, Gilgamesh. I think you learn it from Gilgamesh in your C6 Fleet or in Castle Exdeath. Lemur or Gilia. For Gilia, you have to give her an Ether. You're ultimately never going to use this spell. Lilliputian Lyric, cast Mini. You're also never going to use this spell. Both these spells are pretty useless. You can learn this from Mini Magician, Gilgamesh, Cherry, Barbarello, Ilia, and Mikhail. For Ilia and Mikhail, you need to use the Ether on them. Flash. If Glitch blind to all enemies. I never really use Flash. Flash is pretty useless, I find. I don't know if blind is ever useful in this game. You can learn it from the Crew Dust on the Carnage ship. That's the earliest you will find it, and you will get it very easily because the enemy spams it a lot. You can also learn it from Ramu, Neon, Gilgamesh, Necrophobe, Headstone, Oracat, Parkanope, and Stone Mask. Headstone and Orcat, I believe you need to, Parkanope and Stone Mask you need to give, MP to. Yeah, it doesn't affect spells. Time Slip. Inflicts sleep and old to one enemy. If the enemy is immune to either one of the status, it fails. I don't know if this spell is useful at all. I never use it because most things are going to be immune to old and sleep. So ultimately, it's not that great of a spell. You can learn it from the Traveler, Gilgamesh, Charity, and Mikhail. So Mikhail's the best one, or a Traveler's the best one to learn it from. Move Bloom. Cast Berserk on your party, or on all allies. So, I think this spell's pretty useless. Like, why would you want to give up control of your party and just auto-hack? That just seems like a very, very bad idea. So, ultimately, I don't think Move Blue is worth anything, in my honest opinion. You can learn it from page 256 in Library of Agents, Zachanapes, and Mikhail. So you can get this at the same time that you get level 5 Gap. It's a very silly spell, yeah. There's no reason to ever really use this spell. Deathclaw. Reduces the target's HP as single digits and inflicts paralysis. It has a 66% accuracy, I believe. Yeah, it has a 66% accuracy. These spells also have 66% accuracy. It has 75%, 90%. So this has a 66% accuracy. This spell is actually godlike. What if I were to tell you some bosses are not immune to this spell? I learned that the crystals... Berserk applies a 50% damage multiplier, but like, why would you want to give up control of your party? So, do you remember the crystals that you fight in the Great Forest of Moor? You can use this against every single one of them. You can also use this on Ramuh, against Ramuh. It's also very good in a lot of regular fights. The only downside is the MP cost and the accuracy. 66% accuracy is kind of a big, long shot. But ultimately, it's still a very good spell. Now, you can learn this from Deathclaw when escaping from Karnak Castle. Be sure to get it from Deathclaw. That's the earliest you can get. You could get it later, but it's so much later. You want to get it from Deathclaw. You can learn it from Trent, Gilgamesh, Soul Eater, Ironclaw, Objective Art, and Strappler. Objective Art and Strappler, you need to give MP to. So yeah, be sure to get Deathclaw. Arrow! Arrow, Era, and Eroga. These are your only wind elemental magic spells outside of Sylph or Sildra. So Air Knife is good for anyone that uses wind. So if you want to do a lot of wind damage, you need the Air Knife. So Arrow, you can learn this at the start of the game from Mogwind in Wind Shrine. Very easy to get this. You can also learn it from Gygas, Magissa, Mikhail, Somagia, and defeat her. For defeat her, you need to give MP to. Era. You can learn from the Geiges when escaping from Castle Karnak. Try to get it done. It's very good to get early. You can also learn it from the Exalted Fan in the Ronkin Ruins, as well as page 32. If you didn't get from Karnak Castle, get from Library of the Ancients. You can also learn it from Gilgamesh, Enkidu, Abductor, Asumagia, and Galajelly. For Galajelly, you need to give MP to, I believe. And Eroga. You can learn from Metamorph when he turns to the Exalted Fan, Magic Dragon, Elgigas, the Wind Crystal, Wallganders, Neo Exkef, Seri, and Cigarette Gigas when summoned from Sephiroth. Seri and Cigarette Gigas you need to give MP to. Flamethrower. It's basically like a fire spell. It does the same amount of damage as Era. So it's the same as Era, but as a fire spell. You cannot multi-target it. So is it useful? I don't think so, honestly. Like, why would you use Flamethrower when you could use Fire? I guess if you need fire damage from a blue mage, you can use a Flamethrower, but ultimately, like, compared to Fire, you can use Fire and get more mileage out of it. You learned this from Prototype, Flamethrower, Mega Head, Omega, Triton, Great Dragon, Asumagia, and the Mind Flayer, which you have to give MP to. Why does the Mind Flayer have this? Goblin Punch. Believe it or not, Goblin Punch is an interesting spell. So you learn this from the Goblin at the start of the game, be sure to get it. From Black Goblin, Gilgamesh, Gobbledygook, Asumagia, Sahagin, and Nitz. For Sahagin and Nitz, you need to give MP. It does non-elemental physical damage, using the equipped weapon's throw hack. So it does damage based on the weapon's throw hack value. In addition, if the target's level is the same as the user's, it does ×8 damage, and it ignores defense. And it's unaffected by row, and does not trigger additional effects like Synchronized Spleen. What do you mean it can lock you out for complete bestiary? How? How does it lock you out for complete bestiary? So, ultimately, you're not really going to be using, this spell, like, at all. Like, there's no real reason, unless there's a weapon that does, very high throw damage. But even then, it's like, you're not really gonna be using this spell for anything. Oh, Magician can be one-shot cost. Oh, I see. So, ultimately, Goblin Punch, it's a meme. You're not really gonna use it that much. Welcome to one of the most broken spells in the game. You may be wondering, why is it broken? It just halves the target's level. It has a 66% accuracy. So, it halves the target's level, rounded down. Keep that in mind. And it stacks with itself an other level manipulation abilities, so it works on all targets, but misses a lot against evasive targets. So, here's the thing. You want to learn this spell if you're going to be using level 5 depth. This, along with Mix, is how you break the game. So, you learn this with Black Flame. Make sure to get that from Black Flame immediately. Scrapper, also use this. You also need to, I think, control Usagi, Saru, and Druid in order to get it from them. But get it from Black Flame. So, if you have a target's level, it reduces all of their stats. So, you're making all of their attacks and other stats weaker. Meaning they're going to do less damage and take more damage. On top of that, if you manipulate levels correctly, you can use level 5 Death and instantly defeat enemies. For example, Atomos. Atomos, I think, is level 41. If you use level 5 or Dark Spark on Atomos, it will become level 20. Meaning, you can use level 5 Death and instantly defeat Atomos. So yes, you want Dark Spark if you're going to be abusing level 5 Death. It is exceptionally vital to the level 5 Death strategy. Off Guard reduces the defense of the target. So, it halves the target's defense rounded down and works on all targets, but it does not stack with itself. So, you basically get one use of Off Guard. So keep that in mind. Once you get to use it, once it happens once, don't bother with using it again on the same target. So it has an 80% accuracy, so this is honestly a pretty good spell. I never used it. I honestly should have. I didn't realize it had the target's defense. And it had 80% accuracy. But to be fair, you don't really need a lot of stuff in this game. You can learn it from the Magic Dragon, which I would recommend learning from. Cigarette Geiges, page 256. Sago, Isaki, and the Dam. So, page 256 needs MP to use it, I think. Or I think you need to control it. The other enemies you need to control them and give MP to. This spell is ultimately useless. It removes the target from battle, or actually I think it kills, it has magic defense too. Oh wow, okay, it's very good. I don't remember this, I don't think it removes them, it just kills them, so never mind. This does restore all HP MP to one ally at the cost of killing the user. So maybe this is actually good in very niche scenarios. It is good for restoring MP. This is a good MP restoration ability, but I never see a reason to use this ability. Now, I'm sure that people have made great use of this ability. I don't think it's really that good, so, you know, that's just me. You can learn it from, Mithril Dragon. It needs to be, controlled. It's not got off guard this bad. You're more likely to grind that to use off guard. Yeah. You can learn this from the Mithril Dragon, Gargoyle, Virus, Devilfish, and Unknown, and Mover. So in order to learn this, you need to use control on the enemy. They will not use this normally. So you have to force control in order to learn this ability. Mind Blast. This does... Yeah, Kerplunk Bag. This does non-elemental damage and inflicts sack and paralysis to one enemy. It has a power of 80, so it's a little bit... It's stronger than, Era by 30. So it does a little bit more damage, but you don't get, elemental boost. The problem with Mind Blast You get this at the end of the game. Like, this is a spell you basically learn in the final dungeon. You learn it from Wendigo. Well, you can learn it from Wendigo. Wendigo does spam this. Hanya and Mind Flayer and also Magia. So, you can't get this very late in the game. And it's ultimately useless, I feel. So, this is basically just Drain. This is basically just Drain, but different. So, it has a 99% accuracy. You learn it very early on in the game from the steel bat. Make sure to get it from the steel bat. You can also learn it from Blood Slime, Abductor, Zombie Dragon, Ekadu, Dark Aspect, Python, Mercury Bat. And you need to... I think you need to control these guys who use it. Akelon, Dexter, and Sao. So, what it does is drains HP from one enemy equal to the caster's max HP minus current HP divided by 2. So, right now, let's say you have 5,000 HP. If you were to use Vampire, it would do no damage. But let's say you have 1 HP, and you have 5,000 max HP. So, it will restore basically half of the HP there. You would basically get a quarter of your HP back. So let's say 5,001 HP to make it even, right? So it would be 5,000 minus, or 5,001 minus 1, which is 5,000 half. So you would get 2,500 HP back, and that's the amount of damage you would do. So it does more damage the lower your HP is, but it heals based on half of, yeah. Like, ultimately, it's a gimmicky spell that you're not really going to use. However, if a GBA person, the spell is bugged. Because if a GBA person, the HP is not halved. So it will always result in a full heal. It's a full heal in the GBA person for 2 MP. 2 MP, full heal. Magic Hammer. It halves the target's MP. Ultimately, this is useless for the player. Because, like, you're not really gonna be using this on... Like, enemies have too much MP for this to be viable. You can learn it from Biglos, which is the earliest. I would try to get there, but it's not required. You can also learn it from the Drippy, which is on the island that you start on in the second world. I would highly recommend getting it from Drippy. You can also learn it from Opanga and Oisio, I don't know how to say that name. It's an imp you have to manipulate or give MP to. So ultimately, it's not really that great of a spell. I'm just gonna say that right now. It also has 75% accuracy. Who would you use that to? I don't know what spots you would use that on. Alright, Mayguard. You will get this at the end of the game. Omniscient, so... This requires you to have control. You need the airship, and you need to be in a very specific spot. In fact, I will show you where it is. Is it right here? I think... I'm trying to remember where it is. I think it's around here. I think it's around this spot. It's above... Is it around here? It's around one of these areas that, you go around a strip of water. But you must be in the water in order to get it. It's around Waltz, I think. Yeah, I think it's around, up here. I could be wrong. But you have to go there in order to find the Stingray enemy. The Stingray has the blue magic spell. And you can only really get it from Stingray. Sinryu uses it, but, like, you're not getting it from Sinryu. So yeah, ultimately you can only get it from one enemy in the game, and it's a rare enemy. So make sure you have control, make sure you have blue magic, or a way to learn it, and get it from that enemy. It casts, protect self and float to all allies. Or it refreshes it, so if it runs out, or about to run out, it just resets it. So it's a very powerful ability, because, I mean, protect self and float all in one spell is really, really good. And on the higher party, super good. You won't get much use out of it, though, I feel, because of how late in the game you get this. And in a lot of the boss fights, you don't really need Mighty Guard. Can I just say, who uses this ability? Who uses self-destruct? So what this does is, it does damage to one enemy, non-elemental damage, equal to the caster's current HP, which... I mean, if you have a lot of HP, sure, but like, in this game, you're not gonna get that much HP. And ultimately, like, you're killing your party members who do this. Which, I mean, why? So you can learn this from Mode Trap, which is the earliest. Bomb, Paropolis, Grenade, and Gilgamesh, which you're not gonna get from Gilgamesh. So this spell, I feel, is ultimately useless. You're not gonna use this spell, like, ever. This spell. So this spell, it's a niche spell. So what this does, it does fixed non-elemental damage on one target equal to the difference in caster's HP. So if you have 5,000 HP, max HP, and you have 1 MP, it will do 4,999 damage outright. So it's not a bad spell, but like, it's a very risky spell. You're not really gonna use it very much, I feel. You can learn it from Kusabees, which I think is the earliest. No, you can learn it from Wild Knack. Wild Knack is the earliest you can learn it, so try to get it from them. You can also learn it from Tyrannosaur, Behemoth, and then the others require manipulating, I believe. So, Jellyfish, King Behemoth, Mechahead, Numbblade, and Hunalur when summoned from Sephiroth. 1,000 Needles does exactly 1,000 damage on one target. Honestly, I never use this just because of how much MP it costs. 25 MP that early on is very expensive. Gonna be real, it's very expensive. And really, you can hit 1,000 pretty fine on your own, I think. You can learn this from Lamia Queen in Veronka Ruins. It's the earliest you can get it, so try to get it then. You can also learn it from the Cactus, Hedgehog, Lamia, Lemur, and Mikhail. All of those require manipulating again, I believe. Either manipulating or give an MP. Do I have to say anything about White Wind? Do I have to? So White Wind is a busted spell. It just gets more busted in Final Fantasy VII. So it's still busted here. What it does, it restores HP at the higher party equal to the caster's current HP. So if the user has 4,000 HP, it will restore 4,000 HP to the higher party. This spell is godlike. It is the most broken blue magic outside of level 5 death. You can learn this from the exam of Fan, White Flame, Hellraiser, and Enkidu. Well, you're not going to get it from Enkidu. You need control in order to learn this ability. Try to get it from the exam of Fan in Ronkin Ruins. You want to have the spell. It is amazing. And if you miss this spell early on, you're going to be very, very sad. And then Missile, which just reduces HP by 3/4 of the target's HP. It has to be a non-heavy target, so it won't work on bosses. And it has 75% accuracy. You can learn this from the Mecha Head, Prototype, Rocket Launcher, which is where you're probably going to learn it from, Enkidu, Gilgamesh, Soul Cannon, and Motor Trap. So all in all, these are all pretty solid spells. I say all in all. There are some spells you're never going to use, so let's see what you're not going to use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. About 15 of the spells you're probably not going to use. I think there's 28. Or there might be 30. I could be miscounting. So about half the spells are kind of useless. The other half are kind of really good though. So ultimately Blue Mage, I still think Blue Mage is a very, very strong class. In the grand scheme of things, it's a very, very strong class. So I would highly recommend, if you want to maximize your use of Blue Mage, get Aqua Breath, definitely get level 5 Death, get level 3 Flare, get Death Claw for sure, get the Arrow spells, get Dark Spark for sure. Off Guard you might want to get. Definitely get Mighty Guard. You can get this if you want. And definitely get White Wind. So the big ones: White Wind, Mighty Guard, Dark Spark, Aeroga, Death Claw, Level 5 Death, and Aqua Breath. Those are the big ones to aim for. You cannot dual cast Blue Magic, I think. Blue Magic is not dual castable. So that is all the spells of the game. That was a lot of spells. Items. Let's take a look at the item. Restores, I believe, 100 HP. You can CPA. I don't think you can at all. Restores 100 HP. Restores 500 HP, I think. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. Final Fantasy V items. Restores 50 HP. So, restores 50, restores 500. These will be doubled with specific abilities. Phoenix Down. Revives from KO. You will revive with 25% of your max HP. This is also very good for killing undeads. So you can use this on a couple bosses and outright kill them. Very, very good. Ether restores 50 MP, I believe. 40 MP. And then, you know, cures poison, blind, petrify, hold, mini, zombie. So, there's no remedy in this game. No remedy item. There is a remedy ability with mix. So, be sure to check out that mix video if you want to see what all mixes there are. Ultimately, blind isn't really that dangerous, but like everything else is very dangerous. Especially zombie. Zombie and petrify are two super dangerous ones. You're gonna want to have max of all of these anyways. It's just good too. It's just a good practice to have a whole bunch of items. 10. Restores all HP and MP. Actually, that's what the cards does. 10 restores 1,000 HP and I want to say 100 MP. Yes. And it removes all status ailments, so... You're gonna want to have hints, you're gonna want to have colleges. Always keep a good chunk of these on hand. Once you can buy colleges, don't bother with the hints anymore. Elixir restores all HP and MP. You can buy these for 50,000 gil in this game. However, it's very easy to get elixirs in this game, so you don't really need to do that. And then you have some very special items. Good Life Tonic. You use this with the drink command for the chemist. Doubles HP. Let me see. So it doubles HP until the target is KO petrified zombie. And it does not stack with itself or the Goliath Tonic mix. This increases attack by 20. So it okay, so let me look at this. This is interesting. If the SNES PlayStation GBA version, it adds 20 of the throw attack value used by Goblin Puns of all weapons equipped by the ally. It does not affect the attack stat, so it's bugged. In all versions after that, it does add 20 to all. And it stacks with itself up to 55 attack. This increases, it casts haste. So, I mean, you know, that's pretty good. This casts protect and sell. So it says it casts protect. So, this actually does protect and sell, which interesting. And this, increases the level until, allies KO petrified or zombie by 10. And it stacks with itself and all other level boosting stuff. Again, these are just mix ingredients. These are very important. Dragon Fang is very important for level 5 death shenanigans. So, Magic Lamp. It says it summons a random monster. It does it in order. It starts with the strongest, so it starts with Bahamut and then works backwards. It will skip Phoenix. Odin will always use Sun Hexagon. And after you get a Chocobo, if you use Chocobo 19 times, it will summon Eggman. So this is the only way you can see the Eggman summon in the game. Eggman does nothing. So, if you want to make sure Ogun uses Son Hexagon in the final fight, use Magic Lamp until you get right before Son Hexagon. So use it until you use Leviathan, so twice. You can recharge it by going back to the Ice Tree Falls or the Spring in the Great Sea Trends. So this item is very important for gimping Neo X Death. I wonder if I could do that right. No, I'm not going to do it right now. Again, you get your ninja scrolls, which it's not going to show me here. So, it does fire, water, and thunder. This is one of the only ways of doing thunder elemental damage, or water elemental damage. For some reason. I don't know why, though. So let me see how strong these are. So, they are very strong. They're like, Faraga levels. They're like Aga level spells. And they do physical damage. So, these are, actually very strong. So if you get these, you can buy these in a couple areas. These are all very strong. Again, here's your world map, which, I mean, you don't really need here. You can bypass the world map, believe it or not. So if you don't get the world map, here's the funny thing. You can walk past this in a ship graveyard. If you miss it there, it's inside the fire-powered ship. If you don't get it there, it's hidden inside Sergei Castle's library. Which is actually kind of hilarious that you can walk past this. Like, why can you just walk past this? Again, Dragon Seal and Omega Bags, they're just, you know, special items you get for beating Shinryu and Omega. They do nothing. And that's all the items. It's weapon times, ladies and gentlemen. Weapon time. Alright, so Excalibur. You can only get one Excalibur in the entire game. This is guaranteed if you open the final chest before going to X-Death in Castle X-Death and fighting Gilgamesh. If you do not open the chest, you cannot get Excalibur. There's only one of these in the entire game. So, it always deals one damage unless you throw or use it with Goblin Punch. It is very, very weak. So, you're not going to use this any other time. Enhancer. Oh, and it can't be used by these guys. Enhancer can be used by these classes. It gives the most attack out of all the swords, out of all of these regular swords, and it gives free magic. This is also what you're probably going to be using for your spell blades. Enhancer can be stolen from a sword dancer, or you can find it in Ice Tree Falls or the Interdimensional Rift. Be sure to pick these up. These are very important. Great sword. It's not a very strong weapon. Give me a second. Let me go over here. I'm gonna go back over here. Great sword. You can buy at Castle Sergei, or you can find it at the Castle of Bao. It's definitely a step down from the Enhancer. Like, it's half the power. You don't really get very many good swords until later. Well, I say that because all the good swords are great swords. The Rune Blade, useful by these classes. So the Rune Blade, it uses AMP to deal a critical hit. So it's not a bad weapon, but if you're using a class that requires MP, you probably don't wanna use the Rune Blade for that class. Ultimately, I ignore the Rune Blade because I like my MP. You can find this at Ice Cream Falls, or you can steal it rarely from the Stingray. Sleep Blade. It can inflict sleep when you attack with it. It has a 50% chance of casting sleep. All these classes can use it, and you can buy it at Regol, Kelb, Castle of Bao. Ancient Sword. Ancient Sword is kinda good, not gonna lie. Can be used by these, and it has a 33% chance of casting Old when you attack with it. And you can find it at the Ronkin Ruins or steal it from the Lamb Crawler. It's pretty good for when you get it. Coral Sword. You would think that this is water, but no, it's lightning. Useful by these classes. It's pretty good for when you get it. You can steal it from Crayclaw, or you can buy it from Jackal. Mithril Sword. Useful by these classes. No reason not to get this when you can. It's a good damage boost. You can buy it in Karnak. You can steal it from Ice Commander, or steal it from the Ice Soldier. Long Sword. I mean, standard weapon is standard. You can buy it in Carwin and Walls, or you can rarely win it from the Ice Soldier or Ice Commander. And then the Broadsword, which is your starting, sword. You can buy it in Hull, find it at the Wind Shrine, and Bart starts with it. Ragnarok! This is the big sword of the game. This is your reward for defeating Shinryu. It is a very powerful sword. A very powerful sword. It's only useful by the knight. So the knight gets a very strong and unique weapon. So, you can only find it by defeating Shinryu. Apparently you can rarely steal it from the back part of Neo X stuff, but at that point you can't really do anything with it. They're kind of bad. Why are they kind of bad? Tell me why they're kind of bad. Excalibur. It gives you a big boost of damage. It's a pretty good boost of damage. It's one of the sealed weapons. Honestly, this is one of the weapons I get immediately because it's such a big damage boost a night. However, there's a lot of things that like to absorb wholly, thinking about it. So Excalibur kinda gets nerfed in the fact that things like to absorb wholly. Otherwise, it's still a pretty strong weapon. Defender. Defender is, a pretty good weapon. It's a very, 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 very good weapon. If you're going for a evade build, this is a weapon you want. So, When you use it as a item in battle, it casts per head. That's pretty good. It has a 25% chance of blocking evadable single-target physical attacks. That's very, very good. That means a quarter of the time you're blocking physical attacks. You can rarely steal it from a Landcrawler and Sea Dragon, or Sea Devil, sorry. Or you can find it in the right side of the fourth tower. It's still a very strong weapon. Sadly, it's locked to the Knight class. Yeah, it does kind of lock you in specific builds. You're not wrong. Blood Sword. It's garbage. Do not use it. Do not use it. It's bad. So, funny fact. It does give you 5 magic, but like, I mean, you know, who's using the magic? You can rarely steal it from the King Behemoth, or find it in the barrier tower from a monster in a box, or from the interdimensional rift. It does boost magic by 5, and it does magic damage. Not physical, magic damage. Alright, give me a second. I'll be right back. I need to go check on the doggos. Alright, I am back. I got a little lightheaded too, so I had to take a quick break. Alright, so hopefully I'm not going to be screaming at the top of my lungs. I feel like I was talking a little too loud. So, yeah. Blood Sword ultimately is not good. You're never going to use this. It has 25% accuracy. If you're wondering why it's so bad. 25% accuracy you don't want. So Ice Brand and Flame Hung. You got your ice and you got your fire. These are both pretty good weapons early on. Especially if you know what enemies are weak to these weapons. You can buy them both in the Phantom Village. For the Ice Brand, you can rarely win it from a Sword Dancer. And you can find it in Castle at stuff. For the Flame Hung, you can rarely steal it from Akelon. Or you can find it in the Great Forest of Moor. So yeah, Fire and Ice. That's really all there is to say about them. Sasuke's Katana. So, this is another, sealed weapon. You will get this from the, Castle Kusa. It's a very good weapon for, ninjas. Just like with the, Defender, it has a 25% chance of blocking, physical attacks. And it has a very good, damage to it, and +1 agility. Although, ultimately, I feel like, the damage for ninjas aren't really that great. The damage or the evasion is pretty good though. And you can stack it with other evasion things. How I say as a knight like a lot. You'd be surprised at how often I stay as a knight. Like I almost always have a knight because knights can hank, you know. They have good defense, good attack, good HP. So yeah, I actually do use the knight a whole bunch. We'll get the jobs in a bit. So the Kodachi over here. Kodachi is kinda just, it's whatever. You can buy it from Kelb. Again, Kunai, you know. Kunai is just whatever. You can buy it in Karnak and Lich. Honestly, a lot of the ninja weapons are kinda just whatever. Yeah, you can. I think I've done that before. I've done that before with Berserkers. Now, if you want to talk about a good class, the Samurai. The Samurai has some very good classes. Now, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This weapon is a pain in the butt to get. So, you can rarely steal it from Neo X-Death, or from Setsun, which ultimately, that's not going to do anything for you. You can rarely steal it from Yojimbo, which is in the final dungeon. This weapon is very powerful. It is, in fact, stronger than the Masamune by 10 points. As you can see, by 10 points. And it has a 20% crit chance, as opposed to the Masamune's 15%. So if you use dual wield with Masamune and Murakumo, you got a pretty good crit rate. It is not compatible. These katanas are not compatible with Spellblade, sadly. The upside of the Masamune is you will always start a fight with full ATB for that character. So that character will always get the first action in every fight. And if you use it as a item in battle, it casts haste, which, I mean, eh. Masamune, I always say Masamune. Masamune is one of the sealed weapons. You will get this in Castle Kusa. Now, Murasame is a rare drop from when Hanya's second form. You can also rarely steal it from Rook, which is a pain in the butt to get. So, you know how Murakumo has a 20% crit rate? This has a 25% crit rate. So it has the highest crit rate out of all weapons. However, it's, you know, 20 attack weaker. So, I mean, take it as you will. Kiku Ichimonji has a 12% chance for a crit. As you can tell, the Samurai's specialty is critting. You can buy this at the Phantom Village or the Great Sea Trench, or you can rarely steal it from a ninja. The rest of these weapons, I believe, all have 12% crit rates. They do. Kohetsu. Kohetsu is just whatever. You can rarely win it with a Gnome Blade or find it at Castle Extra. Osafune, you can buy it at Surgate Castle. This one is a little bit interesting. So, the Wind Slash. You find it at Dragonvale. There's only one of these. So, when you attack with it, there's a 12% chance that instead of doing a physical attack, you will use the Wind Slash ability, which does wind elemental damage to all enemies. In addition, it does wind elemental damage, and guess what? It increases damage. It increases wind elemental damage. So I think it gives a 50% boost to wind elemental damage. Pretty good if you ask me. Asura is just your standard samurai weapon. You can find it in Castle Tycoon, steal it from Nullblade, or buy it in a Jackal Regal, Kelv, or Castle of Bao. Man-Eater. So we're getting to the daggers. So, Man-Eater, you can rarely steal it from Alchemia or find it in an interdimensional rift. It gives you decent stat boost, and it does 50% more damage to human-type enemies. It can only be used by these classes. And interestingly, so I just learned this, looking at this. It's not treated as a dagger. It's actually treated as a spear. Why? Why is it treated like a spear? Huh? Why is it treated like a spear? Okay. Assassin's Dagger. Can be used by a lot of classes. Like, literally everyone. This is one of the sealed weapons. It has a 25% chance of casting Death. You will find this at Castle Kusa. Is it a very good weapon? I don't think it's very good. Honestly, I think it's very detrimental. Because you don't want to practice against undeads. Because you will fully heal undead enemies. So this one is probably a weapon you can skip ever using. Ah, the thief knife. The thief knife. Thief knife is pretty good. You can only get one of these. You find it in the Phantom Village. It has a 50% chance of using Mug instead of regular attack. So if you want to steal without having to, steal, or waste a slot with steal, you can use the thief knife. Pretty good. Air knife. One of the only things that give a 50% damage boost a wind element is wind elemental, and hey, look at that. It can be used with a spell blade. Usable by a lot of classes. You can rarely steal it from Moss Fungus or buy it in more. Dancing Dagger gives one agility and magic. It has a 50% chance of using dance instead of attacking physically. I don't think this weapon is really that great. Because you might end up using one of the 3 bad dance abilities. If you get sword dance, then that's amazing, but ultimately I don't think this is a very good weapon. You can skip this one. Or you can Gurk. So we're getting to the normal daggers. So you can find this in Regal, Kelp, and Castle of Bao. Main Gouts. Main Gouts is very good. You can find one in Castle Karnak. You have to fight to get it. And you can also find one in more. And you can rarely steal it from a Mind Flayer. So why is this good? It has a 25% chance of blocking physical attacks. So you can stack this with a bunch of other physical block stuff and make that character just immune to physical attacks. Very good. That makes me wonder if I could get away with something. I'm probably gonna try something with a build just to see if I could get away with it. Because if I can, I think I can only hit 75%. I don't think you can ever hit 100% evasion. Mage Master. +1 magic, so, you know, it's good for a magic user. 33% chance of casting silence when attacking. You could steal this from a sorcerer or buy it in Jackal. The Mithril Knife. You can buy it in Karnak and Waltz or steal it from the Wyvern. Nothing special about it. And the Dagger, which you can buy in Carwin, Waltz. Ferris starts with it, and you can steal it or win it rarely from a skeleton. And this is a one-of-a-kind weapon. Lena starts with this weapon. Why does she start with a knife and not a dagger? Why is there only one knife in the entire game? I don't know. I have no idea. It's really weird. And then, the chicken knife. So, here's the thing about the chicken knife. You can only get one or the other. The chicken knife or the brave blade. Chicken knife gets +1 attack for every who escapes from battle. For a maximum of 127 attack. So you have to run away 256 times to max this out. It also gives +5 agility. However, here's where the issue lies. It has a 25% chance of using flee instead of doing a physical attack. Which makes it very unreliable unless you use it with like rapid fire, if I recall. Ultimately, it's, I don't know. It's really hard to gauge. So, looking at Brave Blade, which is the other weapon, it starts with 150 attack, the highest of all attacks. Both these weapons you find in more. So, the Brave Blade gives you 5 attack, or 5 strength. However, it loses 1 attack for every escape, to a minimum of 0. So I don't remember if there's a way if there's a way to reset the Brave Blade's damage if you run away too much. Ultimately, both weapons kinda suck. Second Knife has more use, but like, you know, they're both kinda not super good, in all honesty. In this version there is. I don't know how you do it in this version, really. It doesn't tell me here. Chicken Knife has a bug when it clicks offhand. Interesting. And here, we get the legendary Dragon Lance. Ah! No! So the Dragon Lance, the more you battle with the Brave Blade, okay, the more you battle with the Brave Blade will fix it, okay. I'm glad that they make it not useless in this version, at least. And I mean, really, you're not gonna run away that many times, I feel. So, Dragonlance. You can only get this at the end of the game. You will rarely steal it from a Crystal Dragon, that's the main way of getting it, or from Jura Avis. It's a unique rare skill from the top section of Neo X Death, which ultimately you're not gonna do that. It does, I think, double damage or 50% more damage when used against dragons. So this weapon is how you seize Shinryu. You get 8 of these, equip all of them on your party, give them all jump, give them coral rings, and then jump. And then you win. Instantly. That's how you instantly win against Shinryu. The Holy Lance is a holy elemental spear, gives +3 speed, or strength. This is one of the legendary weapons, so you'll find it in the Sealed Castle. It's pretty good, but the problem is Dragoons are just not that great. I feel Dragoons are not ever very good in any game, personally. The Partisan. You can buy this at the Phantom Village. You can rarely steal it from Cigarette Geiges, or you can find it in Castle X-Step. The thing about the spears, there's not very many good spears. In fact, the spears are all kind of just bland. We'll get a Twin Lance in a second. Javelin. This is a weapon you can forever miss. So you need to steal this from a Sand Bear. The Sand Bear is in, actually, is this a weapon that you can permanently miss? No, you can, actually get this in World 3. Never mind. It's not permanently missable, but you do have to get, rarely steal it from a Sand Bear, which, Heavy Lance. You can buy this at Castle Sergei. The Wind Spear. It's a wind elemental spear. You can buy it in Regal, Kelp, and Castle of Bow, or you can rarely steal it from Chimera Brain. Trident. It's lightning elemental. You can buy it in Jackal. You can steal it from Dragon Aegis, rarely steal it from Gilgamesh on Big Briggs, and you can steal it from Corvette and Gorm Chimera. Mithril Spear. You can find this in Karnak. It's nothing special. This weapon is one of the weapons that you can permanently miss. The weakest spear in the game, you can permanently miss. And here's the funny thing. You get this way later in the game. And by that, I mean when you're in Castle X-Step the first time. You can only steal this from a Cell Bear. Why is this a steal from one enemy, and why is it a rare steal? For a weapon that is garbage. I don't get it. Twin Lance, believe it or not, the Twin Lance is listed as a spear. I mean, it is treated as a spear, but it's like a boomerang section. I don't know why it's like a boomerang. So, Twin Lance is interesting that it does 2 attacks at the same turn. You can buy this at the Phantom Village, you can rarely win it from King Behemoth, you can find it in Castle X-Death, and you can rarely steal it from Objective Art. Is it a good weapon? It's okay, but honestly, like, I feel like you could get away with better weapons than this. So, you ready for another weapon that is, completely missable? So I say completely missable. You can find one of these at Ice Cream Falls. If you want to get all of the weapons, there is an additional one you can steal from Twin Hanya in its second form. So if you want to get both Titan's Axe, you need to steal the second one from Twin Hanya. Yeah, that's kinda, and the worst part is, it doesn't really give anything special. Like, for being a rare axe, it's not that special. It's just a strong weapon, that's it. Rune Axe. Rune Axe is one of the, legendary weapons, so you'll find it at the Sealed Castle. It gives +3 magic, which, I mean, who's using that? It will cost 5 MP to, do a critical hit. So, it's basically a better rune blade, but ultimately, like, why? I mean, for Berserker, it's good for Berserker because they're not using MP anyways, but like, Poison Axe. You can buy this at Surgate Castle. It's rarely dropped by Bio Soldier summoned by Sephiroth, and it's a rare skill from the Reflect Knight. It has a 67% chance of casting poison when you attack, and it's a poison element weapon. So poison element is a very rare element in this game. I don't know of anything weak to poison, in all honesty. Like, poison is like, actually, I do use Berserkers for a brief period, hey. I do believe I used a Berserker in my run. Because the next weapon, the Death Sickle, is one of the strongest weapons in World 1. This is like the strongest weapon you can use in the first world. And it does good damage in World 2 as well. So you can rarely win this with the Berserker and Harvesters. Which, for Harvester, I think that's the one. That's outside of Crescent Island. So before you go to Ronkin Ruins, you can get this. Or you can rarely steal it from Mikhail. So, it has a 33% chance of casting Death when you attack with it. Believe it or not, this can instantly kill some bosses. So it's not a bad weapon, but like, Berserkers overall just aren't really that good. Remember when I said you don't generally want to give up control of your characters? This is a prime example of a class that you don't want to use because of that. Ogre Killer. You can buy this in Jackal. So, it says it's effective against Giants. Giants is not hype in Final Fantasy V. So, it doesn't do extra damage to any Giants, so don't let that fool you. It's just a regular axe. And then the Battle Axe, which is just an axe. You can buy it at Waltz, or you can steal it from Bio Soldier. So, the Thor's Hammer. Thor's Hammer. Hammers are another weapon type you generally don't use. So Thor's Hammer, you can rarely steal this from Deathclaw, or you can find one in the interdimensional rift. So it does full damage from the back row. And that's really the only special effect it has. It does full damage from the back row. It's the strongest hammer, but like, You get in the final dungeon, you're not using Berserker, and you have better weapons, so you're not really using that. Gaia Hammer. You'll find one in the Pyramid of Moor, and you can buy it from the Phantom Village, and it's a rare skill item. So, Gaia Hammer's a little interesting. It has a 25% chance of casting Earthquake when you attack instead of doing a regular attack. It does full damage from the back row and to the back row, and it increases Earth damage by 50%. So it's a 50% damage boost for Earth attacks. Which, honestly, there's not that many Earth attacks in the game, so, like, it doesn't really matter, in all honesty. The Warhammer is just a normal hammer. You can buy it in the Gold Kelp, the Castle of Mal. You can skill it from Reflect Knight, and it's a rare skill for Bio Soldier. It's like a Mithril Hammer. Normal Hammer. Buy from Karnak, or steal it from Drippy. So, Judgment Staff. Judgment Staff is a very, very rare staff. It's a very hard staff to get. It's a rare skill for Black Warlock, Ice Screen Lifos, and from X Stuff when you find him in Castle X Stuff. So, it does full damage from back row if you hack with it, which, why are you hacking with a staff? It's Holy Elemental. When used as an item, it casts a spell, and it gives +3 magic. So it's a very, very good staff, all things considered. The Sage's Staff is one of the legendary items. You'll find it at the Sealed Castle. All staffs seem to have full power from the back row, it seems. It increases the power of Holy Elemental attacks by 50%. So if you're going to be using a Holy spell, you're going to want the Sage's Staff. When used as an item, it will cast Raise, so that's not bad. And it does extra damage to undead. So not a bad weapon. You're not really going to pick this weapon at first, because you're not going to have Holy yet. But once you get Holy, you're going to be using this with that. Staff of Light. So, Staff of Light is a, I believe, missable item. You can only rarely win it from Metamorph, which, once Gil's Cave is gone, you can never... Metamorph is only in World 2, so you'll never be able to get it after World 2. You can steal it from Halicarnassus, so if you want to get at least one of these, you can steal it from that boss. But if you don't get it from Halicarnassus, this is forever gone. So, it gives, it does Holy Elemental damage, plus 2 magic, and it casts Holy when you use it as item in battle, and then breaks. So, you can use this like some of the rods in the game, but if you're trying to keep one of everything in the game, you're never going to use that. And then Staff. Staff. It's a common staff. It's the weakest staff in the game. You can buy a Carwin at Hole, and you can steal it from Metamorph. And then Healing Staff. Healing Staff does not give any attack boost. You can rarely win it from Alt Riot. You can steal it from Sleepy. It's a rare skill from Chrono Controller, But ultimately, you're gonna find this at Haikun, and you should get it in Haikun. Because this is a wonderful, wonderful weapon. You're gonna be using this to heal a lot. Because it will always cast Cura whenever you attack with it. Also, plus 2 magic, so you know, it's good for mages. Good for all mages. And chemists. Power Scab. This is another weapon you can permanently miss. It's rarely dropped with Black Warlock. So, what this does is, it gives you plus 5 strength for whatever reason, and when you attack with it, it does not do physical damage. It casts Berserk. But why? Why would you want to do that? Can someone tell me why you would want to do that? I don't understand why you would ever want to do that. The Magus Rod is probably the most valuable weapon in the game, especially for mages. So I said there wasn't any good way of boosting wind. It's water that you can't really boost very easily. So Magus Rod is one of the legendary weapons. You'll get this at the Sealed Castle. Get this with Excalibur. This is a very good weapon because it is fire, ice, and lightning elemental. It does full damage from the back row and to the back row. I think all rods do that. Yeah, all rods do that. And most importantly, it increases the power of fire, ice, lightning, wind, and poison elemental damage by 50%. So you want your spells to hit even harder? Put this on your mage. Black mages get the most bang for their buck. Blue mages do with arrow and stuff, but black mages want the Magus Rod. Poison Rod. You can buy this in Kelp, or you can steal it from Black Warlock. You can see how many times I tried to steal it. It's poison elemental. It increases poison elemental damage by 50%. And when used as item in battle, it casts Bio. It then breaks. Which is like, eh. The Lilith Rod. Lilith Rod is weird. You can rarely steal it from Barbarello or find it in the forest section of the interdimensional rift. It increases magic by 3. And, it has a 25% chance of using Osmos instead of physically hacking. However, it has a 75% chance of using Flirt. So, it can be just completely useless. It's not worth using at all. And then you get your elemental rods, fire, flame, frost, and thunder. They boost the element by 50%. So 50% fire, 50% ice, 50% lightning. And they cast, as you can see, Baraga, Blizzica, and Thunderga against all enemies before breaking. So, here's the deal. For the Flame Rod, you can win it from the hand form of Liquid Flame, or rarely win it from Rykard Mage. For this, you can win it from Shiva or find it in Carwind. For this, you can steal it from Yellow Dragon. All 3 you can buy in Karnak in the first world. If you do not buy any of these in World 1, you can never get any more of these. If you really want to break the game, you're gonna farm 99 of all of these. Because having level 3 elemental spells is ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. It is insane how disgusting these weapons are. And it's not even that. Here's the thing. Say you want to use the flame rod, right? And use Viraga. Have it on the black mage that has a flame rod equipped. Oops! 50% more damage because you have the flame rod on. It is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Yeah, level 3 elemental spells that can be buffed by... And here's the thing. You're going to be using those rods until basically end game. Until you get the Magus rod if you want the 50% damage boost. And even then, you're going to be using the rods. Because they're just so good. Okay, so you get the rod, which, I mean... It's a rod. You can buy it in Carwin at home. You can rarely steal it from Monty Wizard. And you can steal it from Rykard Mage. And then this interesting little weapon. This weapon is definitely odd. So it says it's random, but it goes through a fixed list. And I'll go over that in a little bit. And when you use it as a item about, it casts Return. So you can find one in the fourth tower on the left side, and you can rarely steal it for the final X-Death fight. So let me go and look at what you could get with the 1-to-1. So, it will go in order before looping around. Cure, Poisoner, Silence, Protect, Mini, Cura, Raise, Confuse, Blink, Cell, Esna, Kiraga, Reflect. Oh, it does all white magic from level 1 to level... Okay, so it does all the white magic in this order. And then it does all black magic in this order. Before it loops back around to Cure. Okay. I mean, it lets you do it for free, but it's still not that great, in my opinion, if you ask me. So, bows. I never really used bows, in all honesty. Bows do let you do full damage back row and full damage back row. Ultimately, bows are kinda never any good. Like, they're never really useful in any game, I feel. What this does in this game, it does do extra damage, like 50% damage and magic beast type enemies. But I don't know what classifies as a magic beast, so I can't tell you that. You can find it in Ice Cream Falls or rarely steal it from Dragon Avis. Wait, Yoichi's bow. Yoichi's bow is an interesting bow because it gives you good strength and agility, and it has a 30% crit rate. So if you want to do crit, this is your way of doing crit with rapid fire. Although you only get 4 hits with the bow. This is the legendary weapon, so you will find it in the sealed castle. Avis Killer. It's a rare drop from Hot Avis, or you can steal it from Hot Avis, or find it on floor 25 in the Phoenix Tower. It does 50% damage to avian type enemies, so it does extra damage to, like, birds. So it's not bad, but, like, you don't fight that many birds. Hayate Bow. You can find this a castle at Steph. It's a rare drop from Abductor at Steph Castle, and it's a rare steel poison evil. So instead of doing a regular hack, it has a 25% chance of using rapid fire, which honestly is pretty interesting, not gonna lie. The Elven Bow, which you can buy in more or rarely steal from Berserker, has a 15% crit rate. That's really the only interesting thing. Killer Bow. You can buy this in Kelp or rarely steal it from Gidra. It has a 8% chance of inflicting death. It does not bypass instant death immunity. And here's the thing, it works on undead and heavy targets. So you can use this to kill undeads, but it's 8%, so like, you don't want to use that. Dark Bow. You can find this in Regol, Kelp, or Castle of Val, or rarely win it from the Enchanted Fan. It has a 66% chance of inflicting blind, which, meh. Flame Bow, Frost Bow, and Thunder Bow. They are all basically the same, just different elements. They are literally just all the same. You can buy them all at Crescent. For the Flame Bow, you can win it from Liquid Flame's Tornado form. And for the Frost Bow, you can win it from Cray Claw. They're only good for specific fights. And then there is the bow, or Silver Bow, which you can buy in Jackal or steal it from Harvester. Nothing interesting. And the Magic Bow. This thing is weird because it gives no hack. It does no damage. Which... why? It has a 33% chance of casting Silence. But why? Who's ever gonna use this? You can buy this at Phantom Village. It's a rare drop from Gilgamesh the first time you fight him in the Interdimensional Rift. But really, why? Why would you ever use this? It makes no sense. Give me just a second, if you will. 1 second, if you will. Give me just a second. You can hear my clary. I'm taking care of a couple things real quick. Take care of a couple things real quick. Well. Double checking to make sure I'm not going to be missing anything at the moment. Don't think I'm missing anything at the moment. It's not until 10 o'clock, okay? But yeah, most of the bows are kind of just whatever, really. And this bow is like, why? Why does this bow even exist? Rising Sun. All the boomerangs do full damage throughout the back row and to the back row. You can rarely steal this from Belfgor or find it at the island shrine. That's all it does. It's just a ranged weapon. For the thief and ninja, in mine. Moonring Blade. Yep. It's a throwing weapon. You can buy it at the Phantom Village, steal it from Belfgor, or find it at the Ronkan Ruins and firepowered ship. Which, I mean, by this point, you're probably gonna have better weapons than, this stuff. And now we get to some of the weapons that are, like, really do anything, you know? So, think about, hearts. They do magic damage, not physical damage. So hearts are based on magic power. Apollo's harp does 50% more damage to undead's dragon. It is the legendary weapon you will find in the sealed castle. Who uses hearts though? Who uses these? Like, hearts are kind of just whatever, in all honesty. They do full damage with back row and stuff, but like, you're not really gonna use the hearts, I feel. Lamia's heart, influence can be used when attacking with it. And all hearts do damage equal to, a weird formula. So, it does damage equal to... This does damage equal to the target's current HP times 3 divided by 16. Which is weird. You can win this from Lemur rarely, or find it in Castle of Bow. Dream Harp. Influence Sleep. It's the same as the Lamia Harp, except times 3 it's times 2. And as you can guess, this is just normal. You can buy this from, Regal, Kelp, and Castle of Bow. It's a rare skill from Traveler, and it's a rare drop from Traveler. And then Silver Harp is just a regular harp. It's not anything special. Alright guys, tell me. How many of you have ever gotten this weapon? There's only one of these in the entire game. And you can only get this as a rare drop for Twin Hanya when it's in its first form, so the form that does not charge up Giga Flare. If you're trying to get this at the Titan's Axe, it's a pain in the butt. It really is. It's a nightmare. All bells, do full damage to a broke back row, except for one, which we'll get to in a bit. So, Hinklebell does, it's nothing special, except it doesn't work if the user is silenced. Wait, why? You can't use the weapon if you're silenced? Why? Rune Time is a rare drop from Volgankers. It costs 5 MP to do a critical hit with it. It boosts all elemental magic, or all elemental damage, by 50% except water. So, despite what this says, never mind, this is the weapon that does not do full damage with back row for some reason. So, you would want to use this with the Geomancer. If, you're using Geomancer with, like, black magic, I guess. I mean, it's still good for Geomancer. There's no reason not to use this with the Geomancer. But at the end game, why are you using Geomancer? Gaia Spell. So Gaia Spell is the legendary weapon. You will find it in the sealed castle. It has a 25% chance of using Earthquake instead of a regular attack, and it boosts Earth damage by 50%. So, the funny thing about bells, as you can see, there's only 4 bells. Why is there only 4 bells? Geomancers get ripped off so much. Honestly, a lot of classes kind of get ripped off with all weapons. Also, this weapon doesn't work if you're silenced for some reason. You can find this at Karnak or find it at Haikun. Ah, yes, the legendary Dragon's Whisker. So, you can rarely win this from a Stingray, or it's a rare skill from Sid Ryu. Either which way, this sucks to get. If you want to get this, Sid Ryu is the best way of getting this, hands down. So, it does 50% more damage to dragons. It has a 50% chance of inflicting paralyzed when attacking with it. And like bows and, other weapons, it does full damage to and from the back row. So this is a very powerful whip, but who's using whips? Like, who's using a Beastmaster at the end of the game? Let's be real. Fire Lass is the legendary weapon. You will find it at the Seal Castle. It does give pretty good strength and agility. In addition, it has a 33% chance of casting Faraga when you attack with it. So it's a good way of doing extra fire damage. Otherwise, you're not going to use it. The Beast Killer. 50% more damage to magic beast enemies with a 50% chance of inflicting paralyzed. You can steal it from the Iron Fist rarely. You can also steal it from one of the unknowns, and you can find it at the Island Shrine. Same whip. You can find this at Regal, Kelv, or Castle of Bow. It only has a 50% chance of inflicting paralyzed. Nothing special. Blitz Whip. It's a rare skill for Flaremancer, and you can find it at the Jackal Cave. I think this is something you can permanently miss if you don't get it. It has a 33% chance of casting Thunder when attacking with it, which, woo, Thunder. Whip! You can find a Karnak or Lich, or it's a drop from Magissa. 50% chance of inflicting paralyzed. Morning Star. It does full damage from and to the back row. You can find this from Phantom Village or Great Sea Trench, or find it at the Great Forest of Moor. Flail. It's basically the same as the Morning Star. It's a physical weapon for mages. You can buy a Karnak, rarely steal it from Atmos, or find it at a ship graveyard. Almost says shrimp graveyard. Buma Shuriken and Shuriken, these are thrown weapons. This is a very strong throwing weapon. You can buy it at the Phantom Village, rarely steal it from bomb sets enough Neo Exdeath, or find it at Castle Exdeath. This has an attack power of 117. Shuriken you can find in Lich and Kelv and Phantom Village. It's a common skill from ninjas, and you can find it in Karnak Castle on B3. And the Ash. The Ash is a weird weapon. There are only 3 of these in the entire game. Well, there's more than 3, but it's very limited. So if you don't get any of these, you can miss them forever. It only has an attack of 25, so like, You can win it from a panda. It's a rare win from the crystals. It's a steal from a panda, and you can get from more forest after the fire. And that's it for weapons. Weapons are done. We are going to armor. Holy crap. This might be split into 2 parts. Maybe 3 parts, actually. Ouch. Genji Shield. Useful by them. It prevents mini and paralysis. It gives very good evasion. So if you're going to go evade build, you're going to put Genji Shield, one of the evade weapons and the evade accessories. So, this is very good with the night class, hey? Wow, this is good with the night class. Can you believe it? Well, not only that, you only get one use of their cats, their caught monsters. But yeah, Genji Seal. You can only get one of these. You must steal it from Gilgamesh in the very final fight. And by that I mean the very final time that you fight him before Okay, when you enter the interdimensional rift, when you see him on the map, that's when you fight him. It's a time to fight, by the way, so make sure you steal it from him. So you're only going to get this at the end of the game. But I mean, 50% evasion is still very good. Crystal Seal. You can find this at Phantom Village and Great Sea Trench. And it's a rare steal from Crystal. Very good evasion still, so if you didn't get the Genji Seal, you can still get this for evasion. Flame Shield. Flame Shield and Ice Shield, they're the same, they're just, you know, elemental. Flame Shield is a rare drop from Ogun, a rare skill from Dueling Knight Grenade in the first form of Twin Hanya, or you can find it from the Great Force of Moor after the fire, or from Pyramid of Moor. And for the Ice Shield, it's a rare drop from Wealthcore, a rare skill from Gnome-Blade, or you can find it in Castle at Step or Pyramid of Moor. So these do have uses, since they absorb the elements. Just that, you know, you're probably going to use them more with Freelancer. Diamond Shield. So, Diamond Shield halves lightning elemental damage. You can buy it in Moor, or find it in Castle at Step. Aegis Shield. It prevents Petrify, and it has a 33% chance of blocking magic attacks. So, this is very good if you want to block magic. Very, very good. Especially later in the game, you're better off using this over, like, any of the other shields, just because of the magic block. You can find it at the Great Forest of Moor before the fire, and Ice Three Falls, or it's a rare skill, a rare skill from Gorgamera and Halicarnassus. Golden Shield. No, nothing special. You can buy it in Regal, Kelp, Castle of Mount, Surgate Castle. It's a drop from Gilgamesh at Sesset's Fleet. It's a rare skill from Seal Dragon, and you can find one at the Ronka Ruins. Mithril Seal. Standard. Buy it in Karnak. Rare drop from Page 258 and Ronka Knight at the Ronka Ruins. And a common steal from the Seal Dragon. Iron Shield, yeah, buy from Waltz. Bronze Shield, buy from Carwin. Leather Shield, buy from Hole. It's a skill from the weak in physical form Melusine, and it's initially on Ferris. So, we're gonna get to some wacky stuff here. The Hornlet. Hornlet is a weird helmet. So, you are under permanent sap. It makes you immune to sleep, and it gives you +5 magic. It is the strongest helmet, but I would never use it because of the sap status. It's a rare skill from Lamia Queen, and you can find it in the Pyramid of Moor. Fun fact, if you want to know what the Hornlet is, is a crown that they put on top of Jesus' head. That's what the formlet is. That's what that actually is. The Genji helm makes you immune to confusion mini. It is a skill from Gilgamesh in Castle Exdeath after he morphs. So you're on a time limit in that fight. This is your second strongest helmet. Crystal Helm. It does really nothing. You can buy it at the Phantom Village at Great Sea Trends, or it's a rare drop from a Crystal. We'll get to you in a second. Golden Helm, or a Diamond Helm, rather. Diamond Helm. It halves lightning elemental damage. You can buy it in more. It's a rare drop. Oh, you don't find it. Or it's a rare skill from Bio Soldier when summoned by Sephiroth. Golden Helm. Buy Irigol, Castle of Val, Kelp, and Surgate Castle. Mithril Helm. Buy in Karnak. Skill from Sword Dancer or find in North Mountain. Iron Helm. Buy in Waltz, or you can steal from the Iron Giant. And Bronze Helm. Buy in Carwin. So, I skipped over some of these because they were not helmets. They were basically hats. The Black Cow. You can buy it at the Phantom Village, Great Sea Trends. It's a rare drop from Asura Magia, and it's a rare skill from Covert. It is the strongest hat in the game. The strongest hat. And it gives you 2 agility, so, you know, it's not bad. However, why would you use that when the ribbon exists? The ribbon is not even here, so I will be back to the ribbon. Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask, nothing special, really. You can buy it in more, or it's a rare drop from Fame Mimic Go-Go. The headband. It gives you +3 strength, so this is good for, like, the monk. You can buy it at Surgate Castle or Kel, and it's a common steal from Steel Fist. Green Beret. Not as good as in the next game. You can buy it in Jackal, Lich, Rigol, Castle of Bell, and Kelp. It's a rare skill for Pig Scurry 2. You can steal it from Ekadu. You can steal it from Mind Flayer, or you can find it at the Firepower set. And the leather cap. From 100% cow leather. Wow! You can buy it from Hole. It's a rare drop from Goblin. You can steal it from Melusine, which she's in her ice form. And you can find it at the Pirate's Hideout and Wind Shrine. Every job in the game can equip this. Now then, let's go to the special stuff, such as the ribbon. So ribbon doesn't protect from all status effects, believe it or not. So, ribbon protects against instant death, petrify, hone, poison, blind, old, berserk, and silence. So, sleep, confuse, and mini will still work, and zombie. It does give you good stats though, so like, honestly, there's no reason not to use the ribbon. If you can use the ribbon, use the ribbon. Circling. It gives you extra magic, so it's good for, you know, mages. You can buy it at the Phantom Village and Great Sea Trends. It's a rare drop for Gorgamera, and you can find it at the Island Shrine. The Sage's Mitter gives +2 magic. You can buy it in more. It's a rare drop for Flaremancer, and it's a rare skill from a Death Dealer. Hypno Crown. It increases the chance of using control. And it can't be used by all jobs. So I think it boosts control rate by 50% or 33%, I forget. You can only find one of these, and it's at Dragonvale. Wizard's Hat. +1 magic, really. You can buy it at Regal, Kelp, Castle of Battle, and Surgate Castle. You can win it from Gilgamesh at the Big Briggs. It's a rare drop from Mini Magician, and it's a rare skill from Mini Magician. And the Lamia's Hiara. It grants immunity to Confuse. It increases the likelihood of flirt working by 33%. And it replaces a Helping Hanger with Sword Dance when using Dance. So if you're going to use the Dance command, you want the Lamia's Hiara. You can win it rarely from the Lamia Queen. It's a rare skill from Lamia, or you can buy it at the Phantom Village. Plum Hat can be used by all jobs. Buy from Karnak or Crescent, and it's a common skill from Hallberry and Calipistery. And one of the best things in the game, the Gold Hairpin. Useful by magic users. What it does, it halves MP consumption rounded down. So if you're going to be using mages, you're probably going to use this. Note, you're not going to get any defense out of this whatsoever. But, I mean, you know, 50% MP reduction is really good. You can find it at the Barrier Tower and Pyramid of More. And it's a rare skill from Go-Go. So if you're willing to sit there and go through Go-Go's dialogue every single time, you can actually get a third one. You can never get 4 of these. And that's all of the helmets. Time for armor. So the Bone Mail. Bone Mail is very interesting. It's the strongest armor in the game at 30 defense. It's a rare skill from Necromancer, and you can find it in a Dragonvale. So, here's the deal. You become undead, so you gain all the advantages of undead, meaning you heal from death, you die from life, and heal spells. You absorb poison damage, you have ice damage, you're weak of fire and holy, you're immune to death, poison, blind, regen, old, confused, and berserk. And you cannot be revived in battle. So it's a very powerful armor if you know how to make use of it. But it's also very risky armor. So use with care. The Genji armor. All Genji equipment have to be stolen from Gilgamesh. So keep that in mind. It gives you Confuse and Hold immunity. And you must steal it during the battle with Necrophone. So don't kill Necrophone too quickly. Otherwise, Gilgamesh will not show up and you will miss this. Crystal armor, nothing special. You can buy it in Phantom Village at Great Sea Trend. It's a rare drop from Segment of Crystal Dragon, and you can find it at Pyramid of More. Diamond armor. halves lightning elemental damage. You can buy it in more, and it's a rare skill like a Cigarette Gigas when summoned by Sephiroth. Golden Armor. Nothing special. You can buy it in Surgate Castle, Regol, Kel, and Castle of Mal, and you can find it in the Ronkin Ruins. Mithril Armor. Nothing special. You can buy it in Karnak, or you can steal it rarely from a Mithril Dragon. Iron Armor. Nothing special. You can buy it in Waltz, or rarely steal it from the Iron Giant. And Bronze Armor. Nothing special. You can buy it in Carwin. And now we get the Light Armor. So Diamond Plate is probably one of the stronger light armors. It halves lightning elemental damage. It's for, made for the, lighter classes, primarily. You can buy it in more, and it's a rare drop for Califestri. Silver Plate. Nothing special. I love the descriptions. You can buy it in Karnak, and it's a rare drop from Sergeant. Conquer Cuirass. Nothing special. Buy in Carwin. That's it. And the... where is it? Oh, the Leather Armor. It's all the way down here. Okay. We'll be back. Well, the Leather Armor is the weakest armor in the game. It can be equipped by all jobs. You can buy it in whole. It's a steal from Melusine in her fire phase, and it's initially equipped to, all characters. Let me see. Rainbow Dress. Rainbow Dress is an interesting little thing. So it increases the chance of flirt working, which, why? It makes you immune to confused. And it replaces empty Hango with sword dance when you use dance. You can steal it from Parthenope, or you can find it in the interdimensional rift. The Black Garb. I have the hiccups, oh god, help. I got the hiccups, help. It gives +1 strength and agility. It's useful by these guys. You can buy it at the Phantom Village and Great Sea Trends, and you can find it at the Pyramid of More. Mirage Fest. It gives you 1 stack of blink, so 1 evasion of physical attacks at the start of the fight. It's a rare drop from Hogberry, a rare skill from OCR Rare, or the Island Shrine, and you can find it at the Phantom Village. Black Robe. So the robes are interesting in that they're similar, but they give different, stat moves. So, all of the same classes can use these. Black Robe gives +5 magic, White Robe gives +3 magic and +3 stamina. Black Robe you can buy at the Phantom Village. You can buy both these at the Phantom Village and Great Sea Trends. And you can find both of them at the Pyramid of More. Black Robe is also a rare drop from Fury, and White Robe is a rare drop from Mind Flayer. The Power Sash gives +3 strength, useful by these guys. You can buy it at Surgate Castle and Kel, or it's a rare drop from Yojimbo. The Luminous Robe gives you +2 magic, useful by these guys. You can buy it at More, or it's a rare drop from Mikhail and Necrophobe. Angel Robe. You can find in the Phantom Village or find in Castle of Bow. It nullifies poison, and it nullifies poison elemental damage, which you don't really see that much. It also gives you +2 stamina. The Ninja Suit gives you +1 speed. It's useful by these guys. You can find in Jackal, Litz, Ragol, Cove, and Castle of Bow. It's a rare drop for page 256. It's a steal from Covert, and you can find one at the Library of Ancients. Gaia Gear! You can find at Ragol, Cove, Castle of Bow, Surgate Castle. It's a rare drop from Gravitar, rare skill from Sorcerer, and you can skill it for being Doctor at the Forest Dungeon. It gives you plus 50% damage to Earth Elemental attacks. So one of the rare ways to give Earth Elemental boost. Sage's Surplice. You can find in Jackal, Crescent. You can steal it from Drippy, and it's a steal from Raw Mage. It gives you immunity to Silence. Kampogi. It gives +1 strength. Useful by these guys. You can find in Waltz. Silk Robe. Nothing special. You can find in Karnak. It's a steal from Mikhail. And you can find it in the Waltz Tower. Cotton Robe. The weakest robe. You can find in Carwin and Waltz. And that's it for all of that. It's time for, the accessories, and we'll be done with that. Man, this is a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be, guys. Oh boy, and I haven't even talked about the, locations yet. Oh god, or the job. Oh my god, I haven't even talked about the jobs yet. This is gonna be a long one. So, Curse Ring. It gives very good defense. It's very good defense, but you start battle with Doom. You can steal this as a rare steal from Fury. You can also find it in Pyramid of More. I see no reason to use the Curse Ring, like ever. Like ever. Genji Gloves. Of course, it's from, Mr. Gilgamesh. You must steal this from Gilgamesh at Sesset's fleet. It prevents Hogan Paralyze. It does give good defense though, so I mean, always steal Genji stuff. Red Slippers. This is for dancers. Replaces Empty Hanger with Sword Dance. Gives you Confused Immunity. Magic Base of +3. And it increases the chance of Flirt working. You can steal this from Cherry, or you can find it in the Interdimensional Rift. Protect Ring. Protect Ring is not really that good. It gives you regen, auto regen, and +5 stamina, which, I don't know what stamina actually does in this game. You can rarely steal it from the Soul Cannon in Phoenix Tower. You can steal it from Ogun, or you can find it in Ice Cream Falls, Pyramid of More, or the Island Shrine. Titan's Glove. If you do not get this, it is forever missed. You can only steal it from Asumagia, and it's a rare steal. It does give you immunity to Mini, and it gives you a bunch of strength and stamina, but you lose a bunch of magic and agility, so, I mean, I don't understand why there's rare steals like this. And it gets worse in later Final Fantasies. Oh god, does it get worse in later Final Fantasies. Oh god, does it get worse in later Final Fantasies. Kaiser Knuckle. Kaiser Knuckles, is a rare drop from a Steel Fist, and you can find one at Great Sea Trends. So it gives you +5 strength. What it does is it increases the attack parameter of 550 if you are fighting with no weapons and you have the bare-handed ability equipped or natively gained. So you need to have all of that. So no weapons and the bare-handed ability. And it will give you +50 attack. So, I mean, is it really that good? Let's be real, is it really that good? Gauntlet doesn't really have anything special, it's just high defense for, these guys. You can buy it at Castle of Bao, Kelp, and Surgate Castle. It's a rare skill from Gilgamesh at Castle at Steph before he morphs, and you can steal it rarely from Mecha Head. Angel Ring. Angel Ring is a pretty decent accessory. If you know an enemy's going to use Old or Zombie. Otherwise, you're not really going to use it that much. You can buy it at Ice Cream and Phantom Village. It's a rare drop from Philia. It's a rare skill from Druid and Bulganders. Or you can find one at the Interdimensional Rift. Flame Ring. Oh boy, the Flame Ring. So, you can buy the Flame Ring and the Coral Ring at Ice Cream at the Phantom Village. Flame Ring, you can rarely steal from the Red Dragon, except during the fight with Alchemia, and you can find it at the Great Sea Trends. The Coral Ring, you can rarely steal from the Yellow Dragon. It's a rare skill from Partheno, or you can find it in the Interdimensional Rift. So, Flame Ring absorbs fire elemental damage, negates ice elemental damage, and makes you weak to water damage. Do not use this if you're going to fight Senryu. That's a bad idea. Use this when you fight Senryu and Leviathan. Absorbs water damage, negates fire damage, and absorbs lightning damage. Or actually makes you weak to lightning, sorry. So this takes care of water and fire. You just need a way to deal with lightning, which there's no way to really deal with lightning. Thief Gloves. Thief Gloves, Thief Gloves, Thief Gloves. You can rarely steal it from Segment and Necrophome. If you want to have more than one Thief Gloves, do not kill Segment. You can get 99 Thief Gloves from him. You will find one in the fire-powered suit. So, here's the thing about the Thief Gloves. It doubles the success rate of steals from 40% to 80%. That's all it does. Alright, I will be right back. I need to take a quick break. Ow! Alright. It looks like I was close to finishing this off, huh? I was. Okay, so Diamond Armlet. Let's see. Diamond Armlet. It's just +5 magic evasion. It doesn't even tell you, it just says +5 magic evasion. You can buy this and more. It's a rare drop from the Imp in the Great Forest of More, and a rare drop from Execure. Mithril Gloves. Mithril Gloves is the weakest gauntlet. It has no special effect. You can buy a Karnak. It's a rare drop from Mithril Dragon, and you can find it in the Firepower Ship. Power Armlet is useful by these guys. It does give a decent amount of attack. 3 strength is pretty good. You can buy in Kelb. It's a common skill for the Sow Dancer, and it's a rare skill for the Abductor at the Castle of Bow. Silver Armlet is the weakest of the armlets. Gives you +5 magic evasion. You can buy it at Kelb. Wait a minute, or you can buy it at Karnak, sorry. So this can't be permanent. You can permanently not get this if you don't buy it in Karnak. Leather shoes. You know, did you know that they're fashionable and comfy? It's a rare drop of Black Goblin. You can steal it from Melusine in her lightning form. It's a skill for a Minotaur. You can find it in Tool. You can find 2 of them in Tools. Everyone can use them. That's it. Silver Specs. These give you immunity of blind. I don't know why they didn't give you that many status immunity stuff in this game. They really should have. Like, Final Fantasy VI makes it a lot easier to deal with status effects than this game. Everyone can use these. You can rarely win it from Iron Claw. It's a common skill from Headstone. It's a rare skill from Page 64 and Ilia, and you can find it in Waltz. Ah, yes. The Hermes Sandals. Must I tell you how good the Hermes Sandals is? Auto haste is always broken. In every game. And, on top of that, it gives you immunity to slow, stop, paralyze, and sleep. So you do get some status immunities with this, which is amazing. You can buy it in the Phantom Village. It's a rare drop from Cherry, and you can find one in the Interdimensional Rift. I'll reflect. What more do I need to say? This will make Omniscient, you know, a joke. And it makes X-Stuff kind of a joke in the first fight with him. You can win it from Leviathan. It's a rare drop from Reflect Knight and Parthenoth. It's a common skill from both forms of Carbuncle, from Fury and Lemur. It's a rare skill from Barrier and Califistery. It's a rare skill from Reflect Mage. And you can find one in Ice 3 Falls. I highly recommend you get 4 of these. Elven Mantle. Elven Mantle. So this is what you want for your evade build. So you can only get 4 of these in the entire game. Or 5, technically. No, you can get more. It's a rare drop for Halicarnassus. It's a rare skill from Cherry. And you can find it in Castle Waltz, Karnak Castle, and the Moogle Village. So it gives you 1 agility and magic. And everyone can use it. What makes it good? It gives you a 33% chance to evade physical attacks. That's really, really good. 33% evade is so good. If you put on like the main Gouts or the Defender, that's 25% more. So That's 58% evasion right there. And if you use specific seals, you can just hit like 100% evasion just about. Genji seal gets you 100% evasion. Meaning, if you do it just right, you can make a joke out of some bosses. And Cornago Gorg. So what this does is, you can get 2 of these in the entire game. You can find one to kill by giving an old man 10,000 gil and a Cornago. The second one is a rare skill from Omniscient. So if you want to get all of the items of the game, you're going to be stealing from Omniscient. So it reduces the required HP for catching an enemy from 12.5% to 50%. So it makes it a lot easier to catch enemies. Now, will you ever use this? I don't know. Because I'm gonna be real. I don't use Beastmaster except to learn control. So this is kind of useless to me. Now then, with that said, that is all of the equipment in the game. Oh god! So I have jobs that I need to go through. I have abilities I need to go through. A lot of abilities. On top of that, I got all of these locations I need to go through. All of these locations. Including what is on the other locations. Here and here. There's a reason why I got these save files. So I got a lot I need to do. And I got bestiary I need to go through. So there's a lot of freaking lot of stuff I still need to do. I don't need this anymore. So we got a ways to go before we're done with this Voidex. This might be a 3-part Voidex. And this was with, you know, Nimmy not streaming today. This was almost a 4-hour video stream. Just on magic and just on items alone. So magic and items alone took about 4 hours. Can you believe that? How did it take 4 hours? Was there really that much to talk about with all of this? How did I get through 4 hours just to that? Oh, I did talk about, like, all of the different blue magic, yeah. This did take a little bit of time. So before I do anything, I am gonna equip, I'm gonna equip myself with stuff. Since I don't really need to worry about this now. Everyone gets a Dragon Lance. And what I'm going to do is... I'm gonna put, Coral Ring on everyone. Except you. You are not gonna get Coral Ring. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna put the Genji Shield on you. And I'm gonna put the, Defender on you. And you are gonna get the Elemental. So that's 50... 25... Yeah, that should be good. And then I will put on, it doesn't really matter. It says 50% evasion, but these give more evasion. There's a reason why I'm doing this. You're gonna get the, prevents confused. I mean, honestly... Honestly, I'll put the rainbow dress on everyone. Prevent confused? Yes, please. So, there's a reason why I'm doing that. That'll be for another time. You can probably guess what that is. Alright, so, that is all for today. We're gonna call it there for today. Next time, we are gonna talk about the areas, which is gonna take up a good chunk of time, because I need to go through all of the shops, all of the stuff, you know. And then we need to go through all of the jobs, abilities, and bestiary. So bestiary is probably going to be its own thing, because I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. There's 302 enemies in this game. So the bestiary is probably going to be its own thing. I'll probably start next time, but you know, we will see what happens. Alright, so... that is all for me today. Let me see who is streaming. Alright, so right now, if you want to catch anyone live, Narissa is doing an unarchived karaoke. Give me a second. Right, Goki is doing, Goki and Mint are doing a very weird collab. I shall not mention it. It's a very weird collab. Gonna be honest. Sakura is doing Alien Isolation. Looks like Biju's gonna be doing a Clover Pit, so she's doing a gambling game. And harassing Pio is doing a Dungeons and Dragon character seat at midnight. Crony's probably dead drunk now. I feel bad for Crony. Give me a second. Coyote's gonna be doing more Final Fantasy Tactics, but Evilise Chronicles at 10 PM. So there's that. I'm looking. Buamoko's gonna be doing Super Mario Galaxy at 9 PM. Man, I don't know who I want to watch. Do I want to watch Buamoko or do I want to watch Koyori? Oh boy. Oh boy, who do I want to watch? I don't see anything else at the current time. So that is it with all of the streams. Alright, so, coming up next, for me, tomorrow will be Unfinished Stream of All Living Ghosts. We're gonna try and bust through more of that game than what we got to Final Fantasy VIII, Xenoblade Chronicles. Again, what you see here for Wednesday is what we're gonna be trying to do this Wednesday. Again, more Hollow Knight, Xenoblade. Next Saturday, I don't know if I'm gonna do this, or if I'm gonna do a Satsugan, so we will see. And with that, I will say, until next time, everyone, whatever that may be, I will catch you all on the flip side, boy. Y'all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, night. I totally can take that from someone else what you're talking about. And you all take care. Until next time.